Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Talk Radio. For those about to talk, we salute you. Talk Radio.
Ash, will you get out of the studio?
Yeah, I've just dropped my seat.
Yeah, would you get out, man?
Minute.
Get out.
See you
You're
later,
finished. Unbelievable. Do you see what I'm having to do here? Johnny, very professional. Show finishes, he gathers his stuff, he's out. Ash is here, he's rolling a fag, he's unbelievable. Coming up on the show, Jim Dale, and we'll be talking professional dog walkers. Here's the news.
I gotta go to Piccadilly, gotta Piccadilly of the day to do it on. I'll get a room on the Buckingham Beach. I go to King's Road, pick me up a nice real sweet girl. Dick-a-dum-dum, 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 dick-a-dum-dum. I gotta go to Portobello, gotta sort of sell a little old antique or two. I blow it all on a Savile Row suit. Go to King's Road, pick me up a nice, real cute girl. Dick-a-dum-dum, 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 dick-a-dum-dum. I get a girl, get a pretty girl, get a pretty go-go girl, and go boy. Saturday, that's a patter day, gonna chat away to the girls who stop to stare in shops and boutiques. Lend me a fiver, I'll pay you in a few weeks. I take the tube there, even better get a bus, I'll get a double-decker tour the town around. Stay aboard till the weather gets dry. Go to King's Road, pick me up a nice, real shy girl. Dick-a-dum-dum, dick-a-dum-dum, dick-a-dum-dum. I get a car, get a mini car, get a mini go-go car, and go boy. Any time of the day's fine, you can find a line of the boys who stop to seek that certain rare one. Lend me a fiver, I'll bring you back a spare one. I gotta go to a Piccadilly, got a Piccadilly of a day to do it on. I get a room on the Buckingham Beach. I go to King's Road, pick me up a nice, real sweet girl. Dick-a-dum-dum, 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 dick-a-dum-dum.
Evening, dear listeners, Iain Lee, Talk Radio. Oh, and so it begins. So it begins. So Jim Dale's coming on, Catherine, at 10:30. And everyone goes, oh, Jim Dale, carry on films. Yes, I'm hoping, I bet he mentions it first. I'm hoping to do the first ever interview with Jim Dale where we do not mention the Carry On films. That's my ambition. Because I'm going to be honest, I'm not a massive Carry On fan. I'm Dr. Nookie and all of that. But he must surely get in every interview in this country, because he's huge in the States. In this country, it must be so with the Carry On films. I kind of want to. There is one thing I want to know about the Carry On films. Why did he do them when apparently everyone was a nightmare to work with and they got paid pennies for it? But I'm not that.
Because he was a big Disney star, wasn't he? He didn't, did Pete's Dragon.
He ruined a Christmas for me, and I am going to bring that up.
Okay.
I'm going to bring that up. He ruined. I'm guessing I would have been. If my sister's listening, she'll know better than me. I would have been 6, so it would have been 1979, 80, and they would have shown Digby, the biggest dog in the world, over Christmas.
I remember that.
And it ruined my Christmas. Ruined my Christmas. I was devastated. I was in pieces. I was a wreck. 0844 499 1000. By the way, here's the phone number if you want to give us a call. It sounds very bassy today.
I'm all about the bass normally.
Does it sound that in your ears? Does it sound different in your ears?
It's quite...
When I came in for Ash and Johnny earlier on, it sounded really bassy, and I thought, I'm hoping it's just because I'm not accustomed to their headphones, now that I'm using my headphones stolen from them.
But it sounds bassy enough, does it?
It sounds very, very bassy. I know they've had technical issues today. I think the bit of string, what winds the radio station, broke. It certainly broke during Julia Hartley-Brewer, or maybe it was just that Denny, the boss, just went enough of this and pulled the plug. I don't know. But it also happened during John Holmes, and he wouldn't have done it then. So that's interesting. 0844 499 1000. I tell you who I've got beef with today.
Oh, who?
And I want this show Oh, can we turn that off? That's
Yeah, I didn't realise that was on.
I want this show to be a celebration of life and love and art and all kinds of things. And I don't want it to be kind of a snarky, nasty show. Because that's the easy way to go. But sometimes it does sound weird, doesn't it? Does it sound weird to you, dear listener? 08444. Let's ask Alan in Glasgow. Alan?
Ian.
Does it sound weird?
No.
Okay.
How are you?
I've got indigestion because I had too much Chinese food.
Do you worry?
Sorry?
How are you?
I've just answered. Just answer that question. So you're obviously not listening.
He went too spicy, Alan. That's the problem.
Ian.
Yes.
Ian.
Yes.
I was at the Celtic game.
Yes.
You don't like football, don't you? Not?
And you're gonna have to try and say that in English and sober.
You do not like football.
I do not like football. That's correct. Yes.
Okay. Celtic won tonight.
Okay, well that's wonderful for them, and I'm really sorry for the other team that lost.
Ian.
Your calls haven't improved in the 6 years that we haven't spoken.
Congratulations on your new job.
Thank you, Mum. Anything else?
I've still got my telly. I still have my telly.
That's great news. Well, there we go. That's a man.
There's an update.
An update from 6 years ago. The man in Glasgow still has his telly. I think he may have won a television on another show that I did.
Oh.
His calls certainly haven't. Oh, hang on. Just as he's gone, he's been replaced
by
another Alan. Evening, Caddick.
Hello, Ian.
Hello, Alan.
I'm watching you on Periscope.
Hello, all the Periscopers. If you want to watch us on Periscope, you can. It's periscope.tv/Iain Lee. Or you can have a little look on Twitter as well. Ian. Oh, hang on. Just listen. Hang on. Listen.
I heard.
I'm wheezing, Alan.
Oh my God! Why are you wheezing, Ian?
I might have the Black Death. The Black Death was the plague, wasn't it? And we can make
it was
jokes
a
about
bit.
that.
Yeah.
Although, do you know where the plague is located now, Alan?
Where's that, Ian?
Up your bum. No. Do you know where the Black Death, the bubonic plague? Do you know where there are instances of it?
Where there's rats?
Sorry?
Where there are rats, there's bubonic plague.
Where there are rats? I thought I saw a putty cat. Yes, but the bubonic plague is alive and well in California. There are squirrels that have the bubonic plague in California. That's a fact.
I thought you were going to say there's a jar of it, because don't they have to keep a jar of everything nasty?
There's a jar of what's the one they've got rid of?
Pox, some sort of pox.
Smallpox. They have smallpox as a weapon anyway. Any decent SAS soldier will have a jar of smallpox in their pocket, just in case of emergencies. Alan, if you were in the special forces, and you had to keep a tiny tablet of cyanide that you would use to kill yourself if you were captured, okay, because you'd rather die than give away the secrets, where would you secrete that tiny poisonous tablet?
In the poo-poo area.
You mean, you can say, well, do you know, actually saying bum
is less offensive than a poo-poo
area. Less offensive.
Yeah.
Well, how would you keep it there without it being absorbed by your anus?
In a tablet.
Yeah. But the thing is, okay, so we talked
tablets melt, don't
they?
We
talked about suppositories last night, Alan. You put that up your bum, you're dead. I tell you where it goes. Well, this will be our phone in tonight. The best place to secrete a poisonous pill in case you get captured by the enemy.
Not to be tried at home.
I think, Cal. She looks different to what I expect.
Well, you've probably never seen a woman before that isn't your mother.
No,
I mean, obviously outside of a magazine.
Well, I've met Kate Lawler.
Well,
we don't all look the same.
I feel sorry. Have you met Lawler?
Yeah, I met Kate Lawler once.
I met her many times.
I met her last week.
We had a Rise reunion downstairs in the reception of Talk. You put whichever word you want at the end of that. And I've not seen her for years and years and years. And me, her, Dougie and Zora, we're going to get back together and do a breakfast show that no one watches.
Well, I'll be watching, definitely.
No, I'm not off mic. It's the whole thing is sounding cack, Id. It's giving me instructions. I'm not off mic, buddy. The whole thing is sounding awful. It's sounding like we're in a box.
Do you want to try this mic instead? Is this better?
No. The whole thing. You sound muddy in my ears. So we're not swapping mics, guys. The whole thing sounds like a mud factory, Alan.
Could be teething trouble with the studio.
Could be teething troubles with the studio. 3 weeks in, and still we're having teething troubles. What you called in for?
Oh, topics for tonight.
Yes, sir!
What are they?
Oh! Well, the best place to secrete a poisonous tablet in case you got captured by the enemy.
Yeah.
And I know the answer.
Of course you do. You've got special training.
Of course I do. And also, dog walkers, Alan. Dog walkers. Where do they get off calling themselves professional dog walkers? I found out recently that professional groomers are not what you might assume if you've been reading the newspapers over the last couple of years. They're actually a good thing. But professional dog walkers. I saw these. I've got a dog now, Alan. I don't like her.
What sort of dog you got?
I've got a West Highland Terrier.
Isn't that the breed that won Crufts?
Yeah,
Yes.
sure, why not? Why not? Yeah, my dog won Crufts. I'm going to take that. I don't like her. But I have to walk her. Apparently, it's one of the things you have to do with a dog when no one else in your family will. So I've been walking her a lot recently, and I get to see these, in inverted commas, professional dog walkers, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing professional about it. Today I saw 2 women. Guess how many dogs they have between them?
27?
Good guess.
Well, that was a terrible guess. How could they walk 27?
They're professionals.
They had 14. 14 dogs.
Oh, halfway over.
Your maths is not great. So 7 each, right? And then also, the law, your dog does a dump in a park,
Yeah.
you have to, at the very, very least, pretend to pick it up, okay? Which I have done. If it's you have to at least pretend, right?
Right.
They prefer it, the legal team prefer it if you actually pick them up, right? Well, this dog, one of their dogs did a whoopsie, and they didn't even turn round to look at it. Didn't even turn around to look at it.
You'd think a professional would have
Yeah.
some sort of fast technique.
Yeah. So I want to report them and have their dog license unlicensed.
How-
0844 499 1000.
How do you? They don't have a number, do they? They need numbers on their backs.
Well, this is the thing, and this is what got me, because they're probably, I mean, how much, honestly, I've got no, this is a genuine question, I've got no idea how much they charge to walk a dog. A tenner?
What, a go? How many times do you have to walk your dog a day?
Twice.
Right.
But I don't know, how much would you, if you were walking dogs,
Yeah?
what was the bubbles there?
Oh, no, someone's hitting the heart on Periscope.
You've got a what?
Someone's hitting loads of hearts on
Oh, I
Periscope.
don't like the hearts on the Periscope. Stop it. If you were a professional dog walker, Alan,
Yeah?
how much would you charge per dog per walk?
£5 an hour.
All right, £5. So they had 14 dogs. That's what, £35. But also a lot of the dogs were on leads. You can't walk a dog on. You can do a dog walk on leads. But when you're in a big park, you've got to let that dog off the lead for it to get the exercise,
Bad idea.
the stimulation.
Yeah, but if it's not your dog, it's not going to come back, is it?
Well, my one wouldn't. No, but I have to trick her into pretending we're not going
What
home.
a vicious dog that could bite your child.
Well, a vicious dog could. He's right. They could.
Vicious child could bite a dog.
That's true. She's got you there, Alan. It's been great talking, Alan.
Thank you.
There we go. 0844 499 1000.
Talk Radio.
It is from a foreign country. No, it still sounds muddy. It is from a foreign country, New Zealand.
Yeah.
Do they have professional dog walkers there?
There are a few, but I wouldn't say it's probably as widespread as it is here.
It's the laziest. If you got a dog, walk. All right, every now and then. All right, I'll walk it. But you walk it. That's what you got to do.
I've got a theory, though. New Zealand is like what it used to be like in the good old days here, isn't it? So the dogs still
Racist.
I'm just saying, do they still take themselves for walks in New Zealand? Because my friend's dog used to take itself for a walk, and sometimes holding its own lead.
Yeah.
It didn't need a lead, it was going out on its own.
We don't like to reminisce on this show because it's lazy.
But we're talking about New Zealand now.
But, well, yes, exactly. But in the 70s, dogs used to take themselves for a walk. There was a dog in our area. There's a phone call, which, Ed, I'm afraid your moment in the spotlight is over. It's back to work, boy.
That's
Otherwise,
show business.
we deport you. There was a dog called Whiskey. Bit my hand really badly once because I was throwing bobbins at it. It used to walk itself. Used to take itself for a walk. They'd let it out in the morning. They'd go off to work. They'd come back in the evening. He'd come back 20 minutes later, have his tea. Beautiful. Bish, bash, bosh.
Everyone knew where they stood.
Geeky girl.
Hello.
Hello there, geeky girl.
Oh, it's nice to be on air. Hello, how are you all doing?
Tell me about it. I had 4 months of not. Anyway, good. I'm doing good. We've got Jim Dale in 12 minutes, and I think we can do the first ever British interview he's ever done where Carry On has not been mentioned.
I saw you tweeting about that.
Yep.
I wonder if you can, though, because it's going to be tricky.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
He did loads.
It's not. Once you realise what, this is a word. All right, genius is a word that's bandied around. Once you realise what a Renaissance man he really is, boy, oh boy, you're in for a few surprises tonight.
Okay.
You're in for a few surprises.
But I bet he mentions it.
He will. Yeah, of course he will.
Oh,
I'm
he
so
might
excited. He's 80 years old.
That excites you?
It does excite me. I find that very, very exciting. What have you got for us, geeky girl?
Oh, wow. Well, it's changed since I rang you.
Oh.
I was going to say that you are sounding a bit bassy tonight.
Yep.
And I was going to tell you off for killing my internet.
Well, I apologise for that. No, I apologise for that. I think the internet is something that we've got a little bit too. I'm stalling here because I can actually.
Sorry, I got you on DAB in the meantime.
No, I'm doing something funny and clever. I'm doing something funny and clever. Here we go.
Because you know
I'm all about the bass, no treble. I'm all about the bass. There we go. It's funny and it was clever.
That was excellent.
You can't argue with those stats, geeky girl. You cannot argue with those stats. Where would you hide a poison pill? There's only one correct answer. Someone on Twitter's got it, so you can't cheat and say what Muscle Muppet has said.
I might just pop it in my shoe or something.
Well, they're going to strip you. I hate to be vulgar, that you're a woman. They're going to strip you and do all kinds of things to you that you don't want to do to get the truth out of you. So they take your shoe off. They go, "Oh, what is this? You have got cyanide pill."
They might not think to look in the shoe, though, might they?
Of course they will.
It's the first place they look.
It's the first place they look. It's
It's the second place they look, actually.
Yeah.
First
So,
place
I'm
is
sorry,
the
that is the incorrect answer. Stay there, geeky girl. Paul.
Hello.
Paul, where would you put a poisonous pill?
Up the nostril. Left nostril.
Mate! It would have... What?
Wow.
Because no one ever puts drugs up their nostril so it gets into their bloodstream quicker, do they?
Not if it's in a pill form, necessarily. You know...
Mate, the thing is, that stuff is toxic. You can't even touch it with your skin. If you hold that pill, it's going to absorb it. It's like liquid LSD.
All right, then I was wrong. I'm sorry.
Okay, carry on, geeky girl.
Oh, gosh, this is interesting. I'm trying to... I'll tell you, I'm going to hold on till we get the official answer, because I'm going to go off on a weird tangent, aren't I?
Go off on a weird... Well, you're not going to get the real answer till 1 o'clock this evening.
Oh, shit.
When the two mics come on and start shouting!
Oh, why do they shout so much?
I don't know. What's, in the words of Elvis Costello, what's so funny about peace, love and understanding? Really? I mean, guys, come on, huh?
Well... Hey, you know, you're talking about dog groomers and professional dog walkers.
Yeah, in inverted commas, yes.
Yeah, in inverted commas, of course.
Yes.
But Kath is right.
Yes.
You don't let them off the lead because they will never come back to you.
Okay, then how come 2 of the dogs out of these 14 were off the lead today then? Boom!
Because they were her dogs. Next question.
So she didn't pick up her own dogs, whoopsie.
Probably.
We've got getting more phone calls now than we've ever had. Paul's just dropped off. Where did Paul go?
Oh.
Where did Paul go?
Hey, Iain, what's a bobbin you were throwing at that wild dog in the 70s?
Whiskey.
What's a bobbin?
Yeah, you said you were throwing bobbins at him.
I was throwing bobbins, yeah. You'll have to go and find out yourself. Get Paul back as well.
Honestly, we've come so far that she doesn't know what a bobbin is.
What
Bobbins fed my family back in the day.
Emily is listening with her mother.
Oh.
Now, and I don't want to, how do I say this without being rude? Emily's not a child. There we go.
But that's okay.
Emily's not a child, so mother must be,
enjoying it.
I wish I hadn't started this conversation. She's looking forward to Jim Dale. I bet she thinks Jim Dale's a nice young man. There we go. There we go.
Dear.
We got round it. Hello, Emily. Hello, Emily's mum. We lost Paul. Paul's coming back. Okay. 0844 499 1000. Although we haven't really got much time for phone calls because we'll have Jim Dale coming up shortly. More answer phone stuff later on as well.
Yeah.
I love that. Paul's back. Paul, where'd you go, mate? Did you bottle it?
No, I don't know what happened.
You bottled it?
I didn't bottle it.
Say, my name is Paul, I'm from Oop North, and I bottled it.
Well, like, my name's Paul, and I kind of bottled it, you know what I mean?
Thank you very much indeed, Paul. It's great to have you. It's great to have you on board. What have you got for us, boss?
Professional dog walkers can earn £64,000 a year survey fines.
Can you believe that?
Just from listen, and this is literally all they do is they walk with an arm out.
A dog.
They walk with an arm out. That's it. How much does it? Are you a professional dog walker, Paul?
No, but I'm a at-home childminder, so I'm at home all day with kids and stuff, right? And there's a dog walking service up at the top of my road. I've never seen a walker dog.
Oh, really? And this is the thing, because how do you know if they've walked the dog? You can't go to the dog. Do you have a good walk? What?
Do you know what I think?
You stayed in the back garden all day?
Yeah, do you know what? Do you know when you get these stories of, say, like, I've got a nanny coming to my house and they do the video and the nanny's sitting there on the sofa just watching daytime TV, doesn't deal with the kids.
Hang on a minute, sorry,
professional
Paul.
dog walkers go to the house, install a treadmill and then just let the dog
Paul,
off.
sorry. Are you just confessing on kind of national radio that you film young women in your house?
Well...
That's a little bit... So how much is it per walk, then?
I wouldn't know. It doesn't say. It just says £64,000 a year, especially down where I am in Surrey.
Yeah, there's 64 grand, and they take so many dogs, and they don't seem to be picking up the whoopsies. That's the problem. With it.
You know, maybe that's why they are professional dog walkers. They go to dog walking college.
Yeah.
How to pick up the whoopsies, how to walk small dogs and big dogs at the same time.
I wanted to say to this woman, "Oi, that little Shih Tzu's done a whoopsie." It was a Shih Tzu.
Okay.
It's done a whoopsie. But I didn't. I saw it and she deliberately didn't turn around. It got my goat. It got my goat, Paul. Thank you. Scott's on the line. Evening, Scott.
Hello, Ian.
Hello, Scott. What you got for us?
Suicide pills.
Here we go. This is it. Thank you, Emily Jane, as well. Yes, it was a nice save. Yes, suicide. Okay, so you're working for the Special Forces. You've been dropped off in, let's pick
enemy line.
Let's pick a hotspot. Let's pick a hotspot in the world. Peru.
Peru.
What do you know about Peru, Scott? Nothing. All eyes are on North Korea and China. Peru, I ain't got a clue what those guys are up to.
They've got llamas.
Exactly.
And Paddington Bear.
So you've gone to Peru.
No, he's over here now.
You've gone to Peru, right? You're working in Special Forces. It's a top secret mission. Only you know that you are there to assassinate the president of Peru because he is the illegitimate love child of the Queen, right? Only you know that. You get captured by Peruvian Special Forces deep in the jungle. Do they have? I'm guessing they have jungles in Peru. Of course they do.
Rainforest, I'm guessing.
Yeah. And they got you tied to a wicker chair. They've got that. It's the chair that they used in James Bond, where they whack him in the ghoulies.
So it's got no seat.
No seat, but you're sat on it. But underneath, they've taken your pants off. Underneath, though, they've not got. They're not going to whack you in the ghoulies, but they just started a little campfire. Little campfire, and at first it's like, this is...
Is this a cartoon torture?
This is real. This is real torture, and I'm not even going to begin to tell you how I know these things happen, Catherine. I'm not even going to begin to tell you. Tell Nigel we'll talk to him after 11. So they've got a little campfire going, and it starts off and it's all right,
it's pleasant.
Then it singes, and then it's agony. And you can't move. You can't move, Scott, but you can move one hand to access the secret suicide cyanide pill. If you combine those words, you just get suicide again, so you have to say both words. The secret suicide cyanide pill that you've secreted in your body, which they've not found, and they've searched every orifice, and I mean every orifice, and we've worked out on another radio station, we all have at least 6 holes in our body. Where have you hidden it, Scott? Where are you going to reach?
I reach round and I grab
that's polite of you.
From under my foreskin. I stick it.
No, Scott! No.
That's not procedure.
That is out of order, guys. That is out of order. Because, of course, it would be absorbed, and not everybody has that part of their anatomy left. For example, if the Gould brothers, where would they hide it?
And
Americans. So, thank you, Scott. I appreciate. Well, no, actually, I'm going to tell you, I don't appreciate your input. Again, input is perhaps an unfortunate choice of words. I don't appreciate your contribution to the show this evening. It was inappropriate. This is a serious thing.
And potentially dangerous.
Potentially very, very dangerous indeed. It's a place that we all have in our bodies.
Have I got one?
You could have, yes, you could. 0844 499 1000. But don't call in, because in a few minutes we're going to have Jim Dale on the show.
Spectacular, including the price. $1. Now that may seem a bit steep, but it was worth it. Look at what I gave him. Quite a lot of Roman terracotta. They've been lava from the flanks of Etna. statuary, ride a dromedary, see the temple tumble and the Red Sea part. McNamara's band, the fattest lady in the land, a pickled prehistoric hand, a strand of Pocahontas hair. Crow and Sue are going to be showing you some rowing through a model of the rapids on the Delaware. Armadillos, clever caterpillars, reproductions of the Cyclops, retina crystal blowing, automatic sewing, Venus on a shell and other works of art. Educated fleas, a tribe of aborigines, two ladies join across her knees, a Mona Lisa made of ice. Hottentots, we gotten in forgotten spots of cotton gin, and night we're out in Sodom, better see that twice. One iguana, snakes and other fauna, got no bearded lady but we're getting her. When you duck out, take another buck out, run around the block and see you, run around the block and see you, run around the block and see a new show start. Roman terracotta, living lava from the banks of Etna. Statuary, ride a dromedary, see the temple tumble in the Red Sea part. McNamara's band, the fattest lady in the land, of pickled prehistoric hand, a strand of Pocahontas hair. Crow and Sue are going to be showing you some rowing through a model of the rapids on the Delaware. Armadillos, clever caterpillars, reproduction of the Cyclops, retina crystal blowing, automatic sewing, Venus on a shell and other works of art. Educated fleas, a tribe of aborigines, two ladies join across her knees, a Mona Lisa made of ice. Hottentots, we gotten in forgotten spots of cotton gin, and night we're out in Sodom, better see that twice. One iguana, snakes and other fauna, got no bearded lady but we're getting her. When you duck out, you take another buck out and run around the block and see you, run around the block and see you, run around the block and see a new show start.
I hope you were all singing along at home, kids. I flippin' love that, and that's someone actually singing it. And who's singing it? I'm nervous. I'm excited. I'm shy. I'm captivated. It's Jim Dale live from New York. Good evening, Jim.
Oh, good evening, Ian. It's nice to be talking with you.
I'm so thrilled to talk to you. That is brilliant. That's from Barnum. Were you the original Barnum?
That's right. I was the original one. It started, I think, in 1979 in New York City. We didn't do it out of town. We just opened cold on Broadway, and it became, as you know, one of the biggest hits that particular year. And then Michael Crawford came over because they wanted me to do it at the Palladium, I think, but they wouldn't release me from the Broadway run. So Michael came over and studied what we were doing for 10 or 12 weeks, and then came back to England and made a terrific success of it.
How the hell do you learn? I mean, years and years ago, I did drama at college, right? And I could learn plays. I can't imagine learning a play now. How the hell did you learn that song?
Well, I think it's just repetitive. Just keep singing it to yourself until, you know, like a parrot. You just sit there on your perch, spouting it endlessly over the next period of weeks and weeks until you really get... You don't even think about it when you start singing it because you know it so well.
Supposing there was an emergency, Jim, and you got a phone call today saying, Jim, the lead actor in the new revival of Barnum has gone sick. Do you still know the words? Can you come in and do it? Do you think you could?
I would say my two broken legs are playing me up today.
It was a very physical show, wasn't it? It was all over the place.
Oh, my God, yes. There was one scene where they said, you're going to have to walk the tightrope 6 feet to a balloon that's going to float over the audience. I said, no, I'm not. Somebody else will, but not me. So we decided to walk the tightrope from one box on one side of the stage, 38 feet to the other box, and that's where that long tightrope walk came in, with me singing a song at the same time without any umbrella or pole to help me.
Did you fall? Did you do it? Did you make it every night?
Oh, well, I couldn't stay on it until the opening night, and then I managed to stay on it. Of course, it brought the house down. Not just the audience sitting out front, but the cast on stage couldn't believe it, and they were shouting up and screaming, "Good old Jim, you did it." And I thought, I'm supposed to be P.T. Barnum, for God's sake. Anyway.
Jim, I came and saw you last year at your Just Jim Dale show that you did.
Uh-huh.
And I brought my sister, and we weren't really sure what to expect. It was an absolute triumph. And what was it, 2.5, 3 hours long? You and a pianist, and you had the theatre in the palm of your hand from the very first second.
Isn't that nice? I didn't, Ian, to be perfectly honest, I didn't know whether it would work in England. It's been so long since I've been there. I came over to play Fagin in Oliver at the London Palladium in 1996, but even then I was hidden behind a beard and whiskers and all that. So I didn't quite know whether I would have an audience, but we came over and we tried it in Corby, a little town, just a little theatre just within 5 miles of where I was born.
Yeah.
And so all the Rowellians, Rothwell, they all came to see it, and so did the Corbyites. And I realized that we had fun, and I had a better audience in England than I've been having on Broadway over here.
How many of those shows... Is that show still going, Just Jim Dale, or have you finished that now?
It's still there.
Right.
You know, we keep altering and changing it. We're hoping to be taking it to Canada sometime this year, later on. But, you know, it's nice to try it out. I don't think I could ever top what happened in England, Ian, because that audience it was like playing to family every night.
It's funny you say that, because it was like, you know, a long-lost uncle coming back. You know, an uncle that moved to the colonies, and he's come back and telling stories.
Thanks for not saying a long-lost granddad.
I'm being very polite.
That was nice of you, thank you.
But there was a lot of affection for you in the theatre. I mean, everyone was laughing and smiling, and it was hilarious.
Well, I love the fact they all joined in. They were behaving like the old British music hall audiences used to. When somebody started to sing a song they knew, they were joining in, and I was encouraging that. And I think it's rare these days to have just basic humour.
Yeah.
The comedy that I was doing, as you know, Ian, all those jokes some of them are 100 years old.
Yeah.
But today's modern audience haven't heard them.
No.
And if you just present them as if it was the first time, then you're going to get your laughs, and they were certainly there, and thanks for bringing your sister.
Oh, we had an absolute thrill, and I learned so much about you, and one of the things I learned was that you were one of the youngest comedians to... how old were you when you started doing comedy?
I was 17 and a half, a professional comic at the age of 17 and a half, with a guy called Carol Levis and his Discoveries. And I think Barry Took was the one that I can remember now was being with me.
Yeah.
Barry Took, the writer. And I toured with them for 2 years to a different music hall every week, and some music halls on a Sunday concert only. So I played to at least 150 old music halls, from the big ones in the cities to the small ones in the very small towns. So I had great experience doing that.
And what kind of acts were on the bill with you? Because it is kind of unfortunate. I love variety. I don't really like going and seeing a night full of stand-ups. I like a comedian, followed by a juggler, followed by a vent, followed by a contortionist. What kind of acts were you working with?
You just mentioned them. And also I was in a variety show with Ken Dodd starring. So it was Ken who used to stand in the wings watching my little 4-minute act or 5-minute act right at the very beginning of the show, and then, bless his heart, giving me advice and help.
Fantastic.
Oh, it was wonderful. I can't tell you how much I learned in those days from people like Ken Dodd, who was just marvelous. So we toured for 2 years at least in all the theatres, and that's where you get your experience from. And also, it made me realize that by playing those theatres in almost every town in England, Wales, Scotland and Ireland, that's where you acquire the accents of the various people who live there, which came in very, very handy 40 years later or 50 years later when I was asked to do the Harry Potter audiobooks.
Now, this is another thing I learnt about you. In this country, of course, and this shows, I think a lot of people won't realise just how big a star you are in the United States. Because in England, it's Stephen Fry doing the Harry Potter books. In America, you have the honour of reading the Harry Potter books. Do you do all the different voices?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yes, I didn't realise you had to do a different voice. But once I started, I had to do it. So I think book 7 or book 6, it was 147 different character voices. But by the time you've added up the ones that she's cut out in book 7 and the ones she's added, I think over the period of the 7 books, it was something like 250 or more. You know, don't forget, Ian, they're not all different. Nobody could do them all different, but they all had something slightly different. Like, for instance, the Weasley family, 4 boys. You can't give them all different accents. So they all had the same accent, but one was shy, one was fast, one sort of stuttered. That's how you can differentiate between the various voices. So it was great fun.
Why did you move to the States, Jim?
Well, I didn't really move. I went with the National Theatre. I first came over to the States for the Academy Awards for Georgie Girl. We were up for, Tom Springfield and myself were up for an award in 1966.
I've got to interrupt. Another thing I didn't know. You wrote the lyrics to Georgie Girl.
That's right, yes. such a long time ago. But anyway, the next time I went over was with the National Theatre's Young Vic Theatre, with Frank Dunlop, that great director. I was starring in a play called Scapino, and we went back that following spring and stayed on Broadway for about a year, playing to capacity audiences, and I loved it so much that I started to work in America and in England at the same time, flying backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
And then eventually Disney asked me to do a number of films for them. One was Pete's Dragon, which was a terrific success in America, and I think in England as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And one film led to another. So although I was living in England, I was flying to America to do these jobs and these plays, and then flying back and doing work in England. So I was spending my time between the two countries and really enjoying it.
Jim, I have to pay the rent. I'll be 90 seconds. Can you wait there and I'll come back? Is that okay?
Yes.
Thank you very much. This is I'm talking to Jim Dale. This is what a thrill. More of it after this.
Dick-a-dum-dum, dick-a-dum-dum. Dick-a-dum-dum, dick-a-dum-dum. Dick-a-dum-dum, dick-a-dum-dum.
Evening, this is Iain Lee talking to Jim Dale, who's live in New York. Another thing I learnt from your show, Jim, was that you wrote Dick-a-dum-dum.
That's right, yes. It was a long time ago, and I did it on an LP, and Des O'Connor decided he'd like to do it, so I think he covered it, and I believe it became
It was a huge hit.
A bit of a hit, did it really?
It was a huge hit. Is it true? You mentioned in the Just Jim Dale show that it wasn't called Dick-a-Dum-Dum. That was just you singing where the guitar part would be.
That's right. It was called King's Road, and so when I was recording it to make a little demonstration disc, I just filled in the introduction by singing Dick-a-dum-dum, a dick-a-dum-dum, chick-a-dum, a dick-a-dum-dum, a dick-a-dum, thinking that somebody who recorded it would put a guitar in that and make that sound, and instead it was called Dick-a-bling. Dum-dum, yes.
Oh,
what
man.
An embarrassment.
Oh, no, but the thing is, it is a great song, right? I was listening to it a lot today. It's a catchy song.
Thank you, Iain, and I do like the words of that. I mean, when you listen carefully, those words took a lot of putting together, and I love the way it was. It was one of the best songs I wrote. I've sent many unknown singers on that short road back to obscurity than most songwriters, but I do particularly like that song because it's fun to sing and it's fun for an audience to join in.
Well, it's a good song, and people who knock songs like that, I always say, well, you try and write one. You write a song that people are singing 50 years later. It's not an easy thing to do.
Thank you.
I do have to pick you up on one thing, though, Jim.
Yeah.
You ruined One Christmas for me.
Did I really?
Yes, you did, mate. And
do you want me to apologise now or laugh it off? What?
It was about 1979 or 1980. I would have been about 6 or 7, and the big Christmas movie was Digby, the biggest dog in the world.
Yes.
I was the bit when they start bombing the dog and start blowing it up. I know it has a happy ending, but I was gone at the age of 6. I was in pieces and I could not be consoled. And my mum and dad are going, "But look, the dog's coming back over the hill." I was gone, Jim. I was traumatised by that film.
Funny. Well, you realise, of course, that the title, "The Biggest Dog in the World," the word "dog" over here means flop. So I haven't seen that film. I saw bits of it at the press release all those years ago. I've never seen that.
Have you
film.
not? Oh, it's a great film. I mean,
really?
I've got 2 little boys now, and they love it. It's a great kids movie.
Well, it also starred Angela Douglas, who was a mate of mine, still is, and we're having dinner next week. She's coming over here.
Fantastic.
But she was in 4 or 5 of the Carry On films with me, my love interest and all that. So it was lovely to do another different type of film with Angela, and that was quite a good one.
Tell me about Spike Milligan.
Spike Milligan.
I was about to say, because Spike was in that, you were also in The Plank, and you played Spike Milligan in a film as well, didn't you?
That's right. Spike wrote a book called Adolf Hitler, My Part in His Downfall, and they made a movie out of it, and so they asked me to play the part of Spike, and Spike played my father. But I mean, Spike played his own father.
And what was he like? What was he like to work with?
Well, I knew Spike because we had the same agent, so I spent many hours in his office. I mean, I can remember his office. There was a painting of a duck sitting up near the ceiling on the wall with a supercilious grin on its face, and it was sitting on top of the water, and it said, "The Unsinkable Duck Folks," and one of its feet was under the water a couple of inches, and the other foot went all the way down the wall and rested on the floor. That was funny. So I'd spend hours with Spike telling me funny jokes. Andre Previn went to heaven. Just a mite too soon. St. Peter said, "You're not quite dead. Come back this afternoon." Just things like this. God, they stay with you, don't they?
Oh, they do. It's fantastic. You also worked with, honestly, who you haven't worked with is not worth mentioning. You worked with Olivier as well, didn't you?
Yes, I played Lancelot Gobbo when Larry was playing Shylock. And that was quite an experience with Derek Jacobi and Jane Lapeterre. And, wow, it was wonderful. I was at the National Theatre doing 5 or 6 major plays, which I just adored. I mean, to go from pop singing to playing major roles at the National Theatre was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I couldn't believe my luck. Of course, I didn't know Shakespeare, so I'd ask the cast, other actors, what does this bit mean? And they would say, well, we'll tell you what it means if you give us a funny thing to do as we come on. In other words,
you scratched my back.
We swapped business. I gave them comedy business to incorporate in their character, and for that they gave me the answers to what Shakespeare's words were all about.
What did your family think, Jim, when you start? Because you started off as the comedian, and then you became you were a pop star for a while,
That's
and then kind of the movie star, and then of course onto the theatre and things.
Yes.
What did your family think? They must have been proud.
Mum and Dad were very, very proud. I think the proudest person of all was my young brother Mick. He's 8 years younger, and I remember 2 or 3 years ago I said to him, "Would you like to come over to America? I'll fly you over to see my one-man show." And he said, "Thank you, me doc, but no, I've got my own one-man show." I said, "What are you talking about? You're a welder." He said, "No, I've got a one-man show. I tour Northamptonshire with this one-man show, an exhibition." I said, "What's it about?" He said, "My brother."
Oh.
I said, "You're joking." He said, "No, it's about you, Jim. I've got everything that you've ever done. God. I've got your letters. I've got your stories. I tell your stories. You've told me all the jokes." And bless his heart, he's put all this together, and the little town of Rothwell in Northamptonshire now has a visitors' centre, and an area of that is completely devoted to Mick's collection of memorabilia that he got from his brother, the guitar, the gun that I used in one of the Disney films, the photographs galore, and thousands of records. I said, "Where did you get all these records from?" He said, "I said to my friends, do you have any memorabilia of Jim? I'll buy them from you." Wow. It's cost me a fortune to get all this, Jim. Have you ever heard of a thing called eBay? I said, "What?" He said, "We don't have a computer here." I said, "Yes, you're a silly devil, Mick. They've been buying off eBay and selling it to you at double the price."
Oh, bless him.
Bless his heart. Anyway, he's my greatest fan.
And is Mick still with us? Is he still around?
Mick is still with us. You're telling me. Mick Smith of Desborough. There's not a soul in Desborough doesn't know Mick.
Oh,
bless
good
his
for
heart.
him. Isn't that fantastic? Do you ever... because to a lot of people, and I've deliberately avoided mentioning the Carry On films. I noticed you mentioned them earlier on because I know, having seen the show and having read bits about you and kind of followed your career from afar, I know that you are so much more than those films. Do you ever kind of how am I going to phrase this? Do you ever think that in England we just remember you for those Carry On films and we ignore everything else that you've done?
No, it's not people ignore it. I mean, you can't ignore something you don't know anything about.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, of course, the Carry On films were a wonderful series of years to spend with such talented people as Kenneth Williams, Sid James, Hattie Jakes, Joan Sims, it was wonderful. But I don't expect anybody in England to know the amount of work that I've done in the theatre over here. I mean, that's something like 20 plays and musicals, It's a lot that's been happening over here that, of course, nobody knows about it unless they visit New York regularly and they go to Broadway and occasionally see me on it. So, no, I can't expect to be, and I don't like being recognized. This is probably why, if you work out, I made 28 films in England before I came over here. In 30 years, coming backwards and forwards, I haven't made any films in America. I don't want to live in Hollywood. I don't want to be on television because I don't like being recognized in the streets.
Isn't that funny?
I think everybody should have a private life.
Yeah.
And if you're in the theater, then, you're only recognizable to those people who come to the theatre. And, of course, as a narrator, I'm only recognized once I open my mouth in America.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember going into McDonald's once with my wife just for a quick coffee, and as I was ordering, these two kids were looking at me gobsmacked. He said, Are you the Harry Potter? I said, "Yes." He said, "Oh, can you order me a hamburger like Dumbledore?" And the other one wanted a hot dog with Dobby's voice, so I gave it to
How does Dumbledore order a hamburger, Jim?
Well, a very posh way, a very posh way. No, he sort of talks up here. Actually, one of the reason I got that voice was from I delve into the past and grab voices from people that I admire.
Yeah.
And Dumbledore was a very elegant actor who was over here some years ago, and I copied his voice. Dobby, as you know, as I told you in the show, I first met him in an elevator, a lift going up, and this little voice behind me said, "Excuse me, sir, can you take your bum out of my face?" And that voice stayed with me.
You've always been very physical, and I'm talking about in your professional career. I have no idea about your private life.
That's right.
Yeah, but you've always been very physical, and there was another story in the Just Jim Dale. I don't think it was Barnum. I think it was something at the National where you had to balance on the seats in the theatre.
That was Scapino, yeah.
Scapino. And
I used to run backwards and forwards on stage being chased by people. One of the people chasing me was Iain Charleston. There's a lovely actor. And Iain was in Scapino. We would run backwards and forwards, and then I'd run to the back of the stage and hurl myself to the front of the stage and leap over that gap.
Yeah.
And land on the back of the front row of seats with everybody leaning out of the way. You knew they would. You hope to God nobody's sitting there with a white stick, you know. But and then I would run over the backs of the seats into the auditorium. It gave that little added more excitement, and it broke that fourth wall so that you could now be in the middle of an audience, still doing the play, but slightly improvising as well. You know,
ever injured yourself with all these stunts? Because Barnum was very physical, that was very physical. You did your own stunts in the Carry On films. Ever had any serious injuries?
Yes, well, don't forget, when I was a stand-up comic, I used to get thrown on the stage by two stagehands every night.
Yes, that was your opening, wasn't it?
That's right. So, I had no idea whether I'd land on my head or my bum or what. And then finally somebody said, why don't you get a little trampoline? You bounce on it and you can control that flying forward somersault. So that's what I did eventually. So I have spent my life doing tumbling because I was trained to do it as a dancer. I did ballet, tap, ballroom, national, all the dancing, including judo and including tumbling and eccentric comedy dancing. So that was 10 lessons a week for 6 years. So after all that, you do become very physical, and you have the confidence to walk on stage and also to give every character a different kind of movement.
And what was interesting as well about the play was, you are, you're a little bit over 40 now, but you're still very, very physical in your performance, and you were getting big laughs just for like shaking a leg, or you just from doing a silly little movement, you were getting big laughs from it.
Wasn't that nice? I couldn't believe it. Yes, but there are, the sort of dance movements you were laughing at, these were movements that were taught to me by an old man, and I said, who taught you? He said, my grandfather. And I said, and who taught him? He said, his grandfather. That takes us back to 1770.
Yeah.
And these were steps that people were dancing in the streets, the buskers. And so it was lovely to be presenting something on the vaudeville stage that was nearly 300 years old.
Jim, what are you doing now? What are you working on now?
I'm working on training a Dobie puppy.
Good luck with that then. Your toughest challenge yet.
She's very good. She's sitting just in front of me now. It's a 20-week-old little Dobie puppy
beautiful.
called Gypsy, and that's what I love doing. I've had four Doberman in the last 20 years, and I love training my dogs for obedience and all that. And it's just fun to have an intelligent dog who loves to learn. So that's what I'll be doing for the next few months until. Yeah, couldn't be better. But as far as work is concerned, there's so many things. I'm off tonight to see The Strange Undoing of Prudencia Hart by the Scottish National Theatre. It's at Lincoln Centre. So I love visiting and watching anything that comes over from the British Isles. And the Scottish National Theatre is one of the best group of actors I've ever seen. I saw them over here in Black Watch a few years ago, and I went 3 times and flew my son over from England to see it. That's how wonderful these actors are. So that's where I'm off to in about an hour.
Jim, listen, I know you've got a busy night, and I really appreciate you fitting us in this evening. Is there, final question, any chance of a Just Jim Dale DVD of the live show? Is that going to happen?
I'm editing it now.
Oh, beautiful.
We did a film. We made, I had 3 cameras over 2 shows.
Beautiful.
And we had 14 hours of show that I'm editing down, and I think it's the final edit we're doing next week. So these will be available. I don't know how we're going to get them out to people, but we'll see.
Let us know when it's available. We will plug it like crazy on this show, and I hope you come back to the UK soon, man, because people love you. People actually love you, and I think you got that when you did the show.
Well, that's very lovely, and thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure, Ian.
Thank you, mate. Thank you, Jim.
You.
There we go. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mr. Jim Dale, all the way live from New York, and he kind of moved. He very kindly fitted us in with his busy evenings. He's off to see a show, and he got in touch and said, "I'm double booked. Can I do it at an earlier time?" You can do it any time you want, buddy. Jim Dale, ladies and gentlemen, flippin' heck, what a nice man. 30 minutes was never going to be enough, was it? It was never going to be enough. When the DVD comes out, we will find out and we will let you know, because it is just a thrill, an absolute thrill to see. He's such an incredible performer, and you kind of think of him as Dr. Nookie in the Carry On. Wasn't that great, huh? You think of him in the Carry On films and stuff like that. I was never a massive fan of Carry On films, but when you realise he was a stand-up comic, he was a pop star. He was a pop star, around about the same time as Cliff. He's been a movie star. He's done Broadway. He's won so many awards. Fantastic. We'll put all of that is going to go in the podcast, I think. Okay, this is Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio. We'll take some more of your calls after we've had a little bit of this.
Talk Radio.
Man alive, what a delightful gentleman. We'll carry on with the nonsense after that, although, to be honest, how are we going to top that? Where would you hide? Where's the best place? And loads of you got it on Twitter, to hide a secret cyanide suicide pill. And dog walkers, okay? I want this show to be a loving, great, warm thing, but I cannot get my head around the great con of the 21st century that is the professional dog walker. Here's the news. Yeah, I know. Someone on Twitter says, how can you even bear to talk about dog walkers after that ridiculously good interview with a living legend? I know what you mean. Evening, guys. This is Iain Lee. It's Talk Radio. If you've just tuned in, you've just missed Jim Dale, who is... what a thrill. We're going to put the whole Jim Dale interview in the podcast, because I think it's worth listening. We'll carry on with the nonsense. You know how this works, don't you? I know we're getting new listeners all the time. We're getting lots of people who keep saying, I didn't know you were back on the radio, or what is this? So let me just quickly explain the, in inverted commas, rules of this show, right? Basically, other shows, they will talk for 1 hour about something. The first hour will be about Brexit, and then the second hour will be about David Cameron's family having money in Panama, and then the third hour will be something light about nail bars or something, right? And you can only phone in about those things, right? It's not how we do it here. I sit here and I will talk about stuff that has happened to me in the day, maybe stuff that's in the paper or whatever. You can call in about that stuff that I throw out there, or, and here's the cunning twist, guys, here's the cunning twist, you can call in about anything you want. You won't get turned away. I mean, I don't really want to go down the Brexit route, and, you know, there are elections coming up for various things, so we can't, for legal reasons, discuss those, but you probably won't get turned away for anything. The phone number is 0844 499 1000. And we call you back. So there you go. 0844 499 1000. Rob's been waiting the longest. Evening, Rob.
Hello.
Oh, blimey. I'm glad you didn't come on when Jim was on.
Was he the fella on the Carry-On Doctors on the thing that goes through, like the bed on wheels?
Yeah, it goes down the stairs.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. He actually did that.
He's a funny fella.
He's a funny fella. He actually did that, and it was just a normal hospital trolley pushed down the stairs, and they did the shot. It was the last shot of filming. And afterwards he said, why did you do this shot last? We filmed this scene ages ago. And they said, it's because we couldn't afford a stuntman, and if you'd injured yourself, the film would have been scuppered. So we did it at the end, just in case you broke your neck. Love it.
Barbara Windsor was hot in them days. Did he ever...
Well, let's listen. You're not speaking to Howard Hughes now, Rob. All right? Okay. You can't get one past me, buddy.
I'm just asking.
Okay.
Anyway, I called in for a reason today. I'm on a train.
Oh yeah.
And there's a group of young children.
You're on a train now?
No, I was on a train earlier on today.
You know the quiet zone in trains?
I was in there today.
How quiet does the quiet zone actually have to be? Because I've been in a quiet zone, not realised it was a quiet zone, and people have been talking and answering their phones and doing all that kind of stuff. And then I look up and it says quiet zone. I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should say something. I don't.
Bradford to London today.
Yeah.
Lovely train.
Okay, you're ignoring my points and you're going straight to... You're doing a caddick.
No, I'm just saying this is how it works, right? Okay. And a group of school children got on with their parents. It was all noisy. Yeah. And I was kind of looking at the quiet side and then kind of look... You know when you look to say, look where my eyes are going. Yeah, quiet zone.
Right.
But parents weren't having it.
Oh, so you're eyeing up the children...
No, I wasn't eyeing up the children.
No, you were hoping the parents would silence the children by you looking at a sign and then looking at the parents.
Yes.
And that didn't work, did it?
No.
Wow.
And then,
yeah.
This is the dynamite bit.
Here we go. I knew there would be a dynamite. I knew, Rob, that if you were calling in, there had to be a dynamite bit. Yes, go.
Is this a southern thing? Because one of the kids said to the other kid, have you got Malcolm on? I've got an Uncle Malcolm. I've never heard that term before.
Have you got Malcolm on?
Yeah.
Have you just made me say something rude?
Well, I think that's what they were referring to because they were giggling and shouting, you've got Malcolm on, you've got Malcolm on. I didn't know what it meant.
Right, I'm going to cut you off now because you probably just said something rude, haven't you? Thank you very much indeed. Okay, there we go. That's how it works. Ah, man alive. 0844 499 1000. Iain Lee, Talk Radio. Let's go to Nigel. Good evening, Nigel.
Oh, good evening, Iain.
Good evening, Nigel.
I was just thinking that Ian Dale... I'm not Ian Dale.
Sorry?
Jim Dale. Sorry.
Yeah, blimey, all right. Steady on. Don't mention the competition. I've been told by the bosses again.
Yes? Jim Dale was not in Carry On Camping.
I didn't say he was.
No, I thought he was in most of the films.
No, he wasn't. I think he was only in about 7 of them. Here's the thing, guys.
Oh.
I'm not a massive fan of the Carry On films.
Oh, I am. Mm.
Well, which is your... Well, I was going to ask you what your favourite is, but I'm not actually that interested.
I think Carry On Emmanuel was very funny.
That was the mucky one, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny, though, wasn't it, with Kenneth Williams?
That was one of the worst ones.
Oh. I think the best one is Carry On Camping, to be honest.
Here's the thing, guys. I don't find them that funny.
No.
It's the best of British humour. No, it's not. No, it's not. And the thing is, everybody involved in those films, Kenneth Connor, Bernard Bresslaw, Jim, I'm calling him Jim now. I've spoken to him for half an hour and I'm calling him Jim.
Was he in the studio live?
No, he was in New York City.
Oh, he's talking from there.
Talking on it's got what do they call it? Telephone.
I've got you a special jingle in a minute.
Hang on a second.
Record it. I've done it especially earlier this evening.
All right, I look forward to that.
Are you able to record it in case you want to play it back later?
What I'm saying is, all of those people in those films, their talent was much, much greater than the actual end result of those films.
Of course, yes.
Thank you.
They're good actors, aren't they?
They are all excellent performers, and I just thought the films, didn't really do a lot for them. Anyway, go on. You want? No one wants to actually talk to me tonight. Everyone wants to get to their points, which is fine.
I was going to say, Sid James was in a lot of straight films as well.
As well as what?
Ones in the olden days.
Yeah.
And he was a really good, serious actor as well.
Yep.
Wasn't he?
He was good. He was good. Sid James was a great actor. Anyway, go on. You got a jingle for me?
Yeah, I do. I'll just
let's hear it.
Put the phone near the speaker so you can hear it properly.
Okay.
Shall I bash away then?
Sorry?
Shall I bash away?
You want to do what?
There's a Carry On thing there. Shall we bash away?
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, I'm doing Twitter with you, by the way, Iain.
Would you mean you're doing it?
Twitter message?
No.
Oh, I sent one yesterday on Twitter to you.
Saying what?
Well, that I'd like to come on the show this week. Okay, here we go with the jingle.
Here we go. Hang on, press record and play, Kath. We're going to record this.
It's just coming on.
It's the Iain Lee Show, the Iain Lee Show, Talk UK.
It's the wrong name of the station. Wrong name.
Talk Radio UK. So come and join the gang tonight. Have a chat to Iain all night. the Iain Lee Show, the Iain Lee Show. Radio UK, the Iain Lee Show, the Iain Lee Show. Radio UK, Talk Radio
goes on a bit.
UK.
We're not called that.
Talk Radio UK, and sometimes Nigel sings a song.
Oh God, it goes on and on.
Does a jingle.
There's another verse.
Sometimes people clap and sing and join in with Nigel.
No, they don't.
Come on,
doing it now, so he's right.
The Iain Lee Show, the Iain Lee Show, Talk Radio UK. Oh yeah, yeah, the Iain Lee Show, Iain Lee Show. Talk radio, talk radio, talk radio.
That bit's good. That bit was good. Well, the posse liked it. The posse like it.
Did you like it?
Well, the posse you heard the posse applauding there.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
They liked it.
Oh, thank God.
What I liked it. You got a good voice.
The problem is it's only the first time I've done a jingle for about 10 years.
Well, there are two problems in that case. The second problem is we're not called Talk Radio UK.
Well, it's not. I didn't say Talk Sport at least, did I? Anyway?
Well, you didn't say Talk Sport at least, but we're not called Talk Radio UK. We're just called Talk Radio.
Oh, sorry.
No. I just
people still know what you mean. What I mean.
Well, yes, they do. Don't you, Dave?
Yes.
So the next one I do.
What?
The next one I do, I should mention it. Do it properly then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dave? Do you think you should do it properly?
Yes.
Okay.
What did I say? I said Talk Radio, didn't I?
You Talk Radio UK.
Yes.
Dave's got a question for you.
Mm.
Are you real?
Pardon?
Are you real?
Of course.
What are you beefing on about?
Who's that speaking? Is that a caller?
You? You?
Are you a caller?
Who's that?
It's Nigel.
Oh, God.
That's what...
Are you real?
Of course.
Who the hell is Ginger Baker?
Oh, I think one of the best drummers there was in years ago in rock music.
Have I won?
Number one in rock music years ago, wasn't he?
Who's that?
Ginger Baker.
Who the hell is Ginger Baker?
A drummer. You just said you knew him, didn't you?
Who's that? Who? You?
Not me, no, Ginger Baker.
What's that?
Ian?
Yes.
Are you listening?
I'm listening. I've got no idea what Dave's banging on about.
No,
I know it is now.
I think he knows what Ginger Baker is.
Unga,
Dave. Nigel, that was a brilliant jingle, mate. I look forward to hearing the next one.
Oh no, stop messing about, matron. Oh no.
0844 499 1000. Evening, dear listener. I'm all tangled up. Hang on a minute. Bear with me. There we go. I'm hoping, Catherine, as well as making the podcast for this evening's show, you get podcasts, go to iTunes or your usual podcast provider, type in Iain Lee and talk, and it will pop up. I'm hoping, as well as her making that, she's also making tea. And maybe that message needs to be got to her. Maybe that very important message needs to be got to her.
I'll pass it on.
Thank you very much indeed, boss. You're right. Now, do you know who Jim Dale is? And there's no crime if you don't know who he is. Did you know who Jim Dale is?
No.
No, I didn't. I didn't say. Well, the Carry On films. We used to own your country, didn't we? It was part of the Commonwealth.
A few years ago. Well, no, I think we're still part of the Commonwealth.
Okay, so you're
we
mine.
don't say you own us anymore.
Oh, we don't
kind
say.
of.
We don't
say
it.
but it's really the case.
It's the love that dare not speak its name.
Exactly.
Did the Carry On films ever make it over there?
I don't think it did.
You were lucky.
Or if it did, I was too young. I may not have been around.
Mate, that argument doesn't wash with me. I wasn't around when Jesus was, but I've heard of him. Do you know what I mean?
I see your point.
I'm not going to do a John Lennon and compare the Carry On films to Jesus, but there are lots of similarities. Anyway, but and can I ask you a question? And I want you to give me an honest answer.
Okay.
Now. This is like we're having like a production meeting after the show, right?
Okay.
And I genuinely want an honest answer. Even though you didn't know who Jim Dale was, Did you enjoy the interview?
I loved
Or did you
it.
find your mind drifting a bit?
I loved it.
Really?
It was really good.
He's an interesting guy, isn't he?
He is.
This is the thing I'm trying to do with the show at the moment, is I'm making a real thing. It's always kind of been my dream gig, is to interview people that I really, really like. Okay, because I think it makes for a more interesting interview. And at the start, a lot of the kind of my hardcore listeners were like, what are you having interviews for half an hour? That'd be boring. We just want people phoning up being crazy, which I hope we're getting plenty of. But in my mind, 3 hours phone calls, we would possibly struggle a little bit. We'd be all right, actually, I think, but you never can tell. But also, I think late at night, having someone on who's achieved so much, whether it be a musician or it be an actor, or, someone like Jim, to get them to talk for half an hour and not necessarily focus on the thing they're famous for. He is famous in this country primarily for doing carry-on films, okay? And I didn't really want to go there. I wanted to know more about the other stuff. And as a listener, I know you're a listener to radio as well as working in radio. That worked for you, did it? Is what I'm trying to establish.
Yeah, it definitely did. It was very engaged. This guy who I hadn't heard of, I learned actually quite a lot about him in the interview, and the fact that he enjoyed the interview, and you sound like you enjoyed it as well. It was a good listen.
I think that's the thing, because we've all produced or done interviews or heard interviews where it's someone. What the way it works? Let me break down the radio wall, dear listener. Is I'm not on these mailing lists. I refuse to go on these mailing lists. The last place I was. Because they you get mail outs from like press companies. Like there's one called Marketeers, and Marketeers will say, we've got Andrea McLean, who's a TV presenter from Loose Women, talking about butter. I've actually done an interview with Andrea McLean about butter for another station I was at, and it's because the way it works is that person will be sat in a room all day, being paid about 3, 4, 5 grand, and they will be talking to 30 different radio stations in 15-minute windows about the latest Flora margarine spread survey has shown that you could improve your life, those kind of things. Or you get the guy in that just because you need to fill 15 minutes of air, and there's a comedian, he's got a new book out, and you get, so tell us about your new book. Well, thanks very much for coming in. And those interviews do nothing for me at all as a listener and as someone who's trying to do an interview. It does nothing for me at all. People just doing that. But whereas Jim, he's not doing interviews at the moment. We just sent him an email. Do you fancy coming on a show for half an hour? Yeah, I'd love to. It's just, I don't know. I'm trying to kind of get my head around what this show is yet. And I think we're heading in the right direction. We're facing the right direction. We're facing the right direction. That'll do me.
It sounded good from this end.
Good. All right, groovy, man. Thank you, Ed. 0844 499 1000. Lorraine's on the line. Yes, Lorraine.
Hello, Ian.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm all right, thank you, Lorraine.
Good. Loved that interview with Jim. It was lovely. Really nice.
Isn't he a delightful, I was going to say old man, and that's a terrible thing, but he's 80 years old. He's 80 years old.
I know, but he's not. It's just in his whole outlook. He's not old, is he? You never think of him as aging.
No, you don't. You don't at all. And when I saw this show, it was a 3-hour show he did, and it's just him and a pianist on stage, and he was stood up the whole time. It was brilliant. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Lorraine. Thank you. What have you called in for?
No, I was doing my housework this silly hour, and I just heard you mention dog walkers.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a lot of friends who are dog walkers.
Uh-oh.
And no. And they're really, really busy.
I know. How much does it cost to walk a dog?
Well, I think it depends on the dog and where they're going, but from £15 for half an hour upwards. What? I know. And when you think,
I thought you were going to say a fiver.
No. There's obviously most of them have vans. I mean, they're walking the dog, but they take the dog for a walk in a van.
Yeah.
And like you say, they collect quite a few.
Yeah.
And then they take them all off somewhere and they walk them, or you can have individual dog walks. They walk 1 or 2. One of my friends only walks a maximum of 4, and they have to come from the same house. And quite a lot of people have got quite a few dogs, and they pay for them, and depending the area you live in, it's really, really lucrative.
Because I saw these 2 women who either they own a lot of different breeds of dogs, or I'm assuming they're professional dog walkers. They're out today.
Yeah.
They had between them, 14 dogs. 14 dogs. If that's 15 quid each.
That's actually illegal.
Is it?
Yeah, you're not allowed to have. I live in Slough, and you're not allowed to have more than 4 dogs per house. Yeah, I live.
Lorraine, I don't want to give away. I don't want to give away map coordinates, but I'm about 5 miles away from you.
Yeah, you would have been about a stone's throw from me many years ago.
I used to live on the Brickwell. I know exactly where we go.
You know where I am now.
I know exactly where you are. I'm going to come round and I'm going to break your windows. I'm not going to do any such thing. No, I'm not going to do any such thing. Imagine if someone did break your windows tonight, and I'm on radio. Can I tell this story? No, I can't, because it involves a legal case, so I can't. Well, I probably could tell it because the case has gone through, and it was me that was in the case. No, I won't tell it on air. I'll tell it if I ever do another live show. But it was very funny. It's about how something that the scenario I just painted kind of actually happened once, and I was presented with the evidence in a court of law.
Awkward.
Basically, I can tell this because it happened years ago. Well, because it was a court case and it's finished. And I won't go into details, but basically, right, I was in court accusing somebody of something, and the legal team for the person I was accusing said, well, did you ever goad this person into calling you up on air? I said, no. And they kept saying this, they kept using this phrase, did you ever goad this person into calling you up? And I said, no, of course not. So you never goaded this person into calling you up on air? I said, no, I never did. You never goaded this person? I said, no, I never did. And she went, right, well, listen to this. And then she played a clip of the show, and it's me talking to this person, and then him hanging up and me going, I totally goaded him to call me up on air. and all I could say was, fair play, you got me there.
Yeah, it kind of goes with the job, though, doesn't it? Job description.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I saw there were two women. They had 7 dogs each. Most of them were on the lead. A couple were running wild, and I saw one of their dogs doing a poo, and she didn't even look back at it, let alone go and pretend. Yeah. Didn't even pretend to pick it up.
That's why it's illegal. It's Slough, and they've got it's a bylaw. You're allowed 4 dogs, and I think Windsor and Eton is about 5. So around this area, Maidstone heads 4.
Burnett, what can I do then? Can I go and I don't want to dob them in, but I do think it's a cheek. If I wouldn't. We haven't got a professional dog walker. We walk the dog. That's why we got the dog. Yeah, but I understand that maybe some people, every now and then you have to do something. But if I was paying someone 15 quid an hour, I'd expect my dog to be getting like the primo special attention.
Yeah, everyone should pick up after their dogs. It's just like you shouldn't have dogs if you're not going to pick up after them.
Well, Lorraine.
Oh dear.
You and I have both pretended to pick up the dog poo. Come on, you know it.
No.
Oh, come on, Lorraine. It's a cold day. You've forgotten the bags. It's a runny poo. Whatever. You have pretended to pick up the dog poo, and then when that person has walked past, you've gone on.
It wasn't me.
Come on, Lorraine. Thank you very much. Anyway, I don't buy it for a second. Of course you would. We've all done that, dog owners. It's you forgot the bags, or it's really wet poo. Yeah, whatever. We've all done that, haven't we? 0844 499 1000. 90s Gary.
Hello, mate.
Hello, 90s. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm peckish. I get peckish. Been out for a big Chinese.
Right.
Well, I'm getting into a terrible habit of me and Kath before the show having the production meeting in the local Chinese restaurant, which is, they do really good sweet and sour pork.
Good place.
Yeah, no, it's really good. And we're kind of regulars there now. They say, your usual? Yes, please. Thank you very much indeed. And, but it gives me really bad indigestion, saying that it could have been worse. We were going to go 2-for-1 pizza night tonight. We held, I know, Iain, I'm sorry, we held off from that. But I've got really bad indigestion. But now, 11:30, I'm hungry. And I had to stop off on the way home last night and get something to eat. I had to stop off, I say in a petrol station. What the hell is it? I don't want to go into a bad 80s or 90s stand-up routine. But why won't they let us into the petrol shop at night? Why won't they let me into the petrol shop at night? And I had to say to the man said, what do you want? I said, well, I'm hungry. I said, I want like a sandwich and a big bar of chocolate. And he's there showing me, going, no, that one. Oh, that'll do.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Let me in the shop. I'm not a killer. Even if I was a killer, I could kill you in the daytime.
The worst is when they get the product wrong that you want. They come out and show you what they've got. It's completely different to what you've asked for.
Well, I'll just take. And then you got it through that little drawer there, for crying out loud, guys. Come on.
God, yeah,
I just want some Rizzlers so I can smoke some drugs. I don't. Really. Why does anybody... Again, it does sound like I'm a bad 90s stand-up, which I was. I was a bad 90s stand-up. Why... people only buy king-size Rizzlers if they're going to smoke a doobie.
Right.
That's the only... No one smokes king-size roll-ups. The king size Rizla is for the joint, the marijuana, the magic cigarette, the Sunny Chiba, the Spliffington. So when the hell are the government going to arrest Rizla?
Love it.
They have to, because they're encouraging, they are facilitating blatant ignorance of the drug laws.
I totally agree. Every time I see one going to buy them, I know exactly what they're going to do.
Yep, yeah, exactly. They're going to have a much better time than me. Thanks very much indeed. Right. Anyway, what you got for us, 90s?
I was wondering when you're going to get Howard Hughes on the show, because you said you were going to do that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. We are going to get Howard Hughes on at some point. If my producer, Catherine, were here now, I would ask her. She's not, 90s. She's busy making tea. So I kind of... Well, listen, man, we're playing the long game here, 90s. There is absolutely no rush. It's only show 12. It's week 3. I've got a 2-year contract. There is no rush whatsoever. I don't want to fire all me bullets in one go and then find myself surrounded by a load of assassins. I want to keep a few bullets in the chamber for a little bit later on. We'll get Howard on at some point, and it'll be an absolute pleasure and a thrill to have him on and listen to his bullshine. But because I don't believe any of that stuff.
Did you hear me calling the other night when he was on?
What? Remind me what you were talking about. I think I did, but I think I was starting to doze off. No disrespect to you or Howard, but I'd taken a sleeping draft.
It was ghostly activity, because I know I've got something in here in my flat.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I heard you talking about a ghost in your flat.
Yes.
You haven't got a ghost in your flat.
Oh,
there's the noise in the kitchen, wasn't it?
And a deep breath that I've heard, a gasp of deep breath beside me in the room, and there's nobody here. I live alone.
Hang on a second. I think I have a recording of that. You say there's a gasp. Is it? Hang on a minute. Is it this? Is it?
No.
It's not that. Okay. 'Cause I thought it might be, because I hear this a lot, but it's just me pressing button 5 on Plums 1. That's all it is. Well, I'm sorry about that, Gary. You haven't got a ghost.
Well, I've got something in there. I don't know what it is.
Well, trust me, mate. It ain't a ghost. 0844 499 1000. Hey, the phones are 0844 499 1000. It's Jonathan in Noah, and I don't know where he is. Good evening, Noah.
Evening.
Shall we just drop the pretence?
What pretence?
That your name is Noah.
Well, I consider it my name.
Well, here's an interesting thing, right? Because Iain Lee is not my... Well, it is my real name, actually, in 2 ways, but it's not the name that I was given at birth.
Really?
My full name at birth was Iain Lee Rugby. Now, the reason I dropped the Rugby is because you try spelling it, you won't be able to, and if you saw it written down, you couldn't pronounce it. And also, for a long, long time in my life, I didn't get on with my dad, and we fell out quite big time, and we didn't speak to each other for years. So when I was getting married, I said to my fiancée, I was using Iain Lee as kind of like, as my work name and my showbiz name. And then I kind of got a job, and I made the decision to stick with Iain Lee. And then when I was getting married, I said to my wife, well, shall I change the name properly by deed poll? And we agreed that I would do that. And this is the most fun you can have, guys. Honestly, it's the most fun you can have. Changing your name by deed poll, Noah, I don't know if you've ever done it. It's the easiest thing in the world. You go online, you type in what your name is, you type in what you want your name to be, and you pay at the time, and this was about 8 years ago, £36. You hit enter, and you've got a new name. It's the most empowering. All these people that say, well, I don't feel empowered, so I'm going to get collagen implants and a boob job and a bum job. No! Change your name legally, and then that becomes your name.
Yeah, but there's one problem with that.
Go on.
The Queen would own your name.
Oh, you're
then.
back onto the... My sister's reminding me that for a period in my life, I was convinced my middle name was Gaylord. And that was a particularly cruel trick that my mother played on me in a caravan in Swanage, where get this right, get this, Noah. I was 5 years old, and I said to my mum, what's my middle name? And my mum said, Gaylord, right? I thought very little of it. What a wicked joke to play on. 2 years later, 3 years later, I'm with my nan, and my granddad, Nanny Jennings and Grandad Bill, and they are taking me to Boulogne on the hovercraft, right? And we got to the thing where you had to fill in the form, and my nan said to me, Ian, what's your middle name? And I said, Gaylord. And my nan and granddad absolutely wet themselves with laughter. For 3 years, my mother, just with one throwaway comment, had convinced me my middle name was Gaylord. Strong name, by the way, if anyone is. Got Gaylord Fokker, of course, from Meet the Parents. It's a strong name, but it scarred me, and it really explains why I become a drug addict. Drug addict? Drug addict. I'm neither. Anyway, well, it don't matter. So, but the Queen doesn't own our names, Noah.
Yeah, and Crown copyright.
Okay, well, I
explained this 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and I didn't believe it then.
Well, you should have believed me. I was right about the Archers.
Fair play, he was right about the Archers. And for those who are just tuning in, this is the only show outside of BBC Radio 4 where we discuss the Archers. What are you making of it so far, Jonathan?
I think tonight was an illustrative episode of how the police operate. Because what people need to realise is if they ever find themselves in that unfortunate situation...
And for those who don't know the story, Helen is a victim of mental and physical abuse, and she's stabbed her husband, almost killing him, and she's been arrested. That's the situation. Carry on.
Yeah. And the thing is, the police are not there to help you. Technically, they're not. What they're there for is to secure a conviction.
Right.
So they'll say they won't outright lie, but they'll encourage you to let your guard down so that they can just get a conviction, because it's all about targets and statistics, and also a few people do get off on a bit of a power trip.
Well, two things. Firstly, the Archers isn't real, and secondly, she did stab a man nearly to death. You want her to get away with that?
Well, I think if you've seen some of the things I've seen, she probably will get away with it based on similar situations in real life.
Oh, blimey! But the police, of course, the police want you to let your guard down if you're being questioned for an attempted murder.
Yeah, but just be very wary around the police. If you ever find yourself in a situation like that.
Have you ever been in a situation like... Have you ever stabbed someone nearly to death?
No, I haven't stabbed anyone to death.
Okay. Have you ever found yourself being questioned by the police?
Oh, yeah. It's a bit of a long story, but let's just say...
I've got an hour and a half.
Let's just say a member of my family was a bit like Rob.
Okay, yes. Yeah.
So one day she just went off on one and started threatening me with shopping me to the police by planting drugs in my possession.
Oh, what drugs did she plant?
She didn't. She just said she would.
Oh.
Well, this was about coming up 8 years ago.
Okay, so the police questioned you. Did you get charged?
No, I didn't.
So they did their job properly then?
Yeah.
So you've got no complaints about the police?
Yeah, there were a couple of others, like the Olympic torch relay, where I was assaulted for wearing a Guy Fawkes mask.
Why were you wearing a Guy Fawkes mask at the Olympics torch relay?
I was protesting against the Olympics.
Why would you protest against sports? I mean, I don't like sports, but I wouldn't protest against it.
I wasn't protesting against the sport. I was protesting against taxpayers' money being spent on a frivolous sports festival.
I can dig that,
and the fact that the people who came up with the Olympic torch relay were the Nazis back in 1936.
But it's... But that may or may not be true. I suspect it possibly is true that the Nazis came up with the torch relay. I don't know that for sure. But...
Well, check it.
I'm going to take your word for it, okay? But that doesn't mean that it's a Nazi It doesn't mean that people carrying the torch are Nazis, and it doesn't mean that it celebrates their ideology.
I wasn't having to go at the individuals because they don't know and they're just doing their job.
Well, hang on, that's the Nazis. That's what the Nazis said. We're just doing our job, Governor. But by carrying, I touched one of the Olympic torches. It was a bit of an anticlimax, if I'm honest. But I'm in no way by doing that am I supporting the hideous ideology of the Nazi movement.
I can understand that the average Joe who doesn't know history isn't supporting the Nazis. It was just something that I felt I had to do to try and raise awareness of what was really going on, which was we were all being distracted from what really mattered in the world. And the government did a first-class job of doing that. Credit to them. Only thing they've got right.
Yeah, I do think. I mean, I thought the Olympics. I got sucked into the Olympics in a way, but looking back on it, it was rubbish, really.
But objectively speaking, let's set aside the Olympics, what I feel about the Olympics. But objectively,
yes,
last year's World Athletics Championship meant more and was better than the Olympics.
No, it's all boring. It's all boring.
Well, if you don't like sport, I can accept that.
Here's the thing. Do you know what they're doing in France today?
Oh, I don't know. Is it something to do with Euro 2016?
Yeah. What they were doing was they were the police and all the emergency services were doing mock recreations of a terrorist attack at a football stadium for the the Euro Championships. Flipping heck! That's terrifying, isn't it?
It's terrifying because usually whenever there's a terror drill, a terrorist attack follows shortly after.
I don't think that's true, is it? I don't think that's true. There was a terror drill here recently, and there's not been any terrorist attack recently.
Oh, let's hope not.
Let's keep our fingers crossed, Jonathan. Stroke Noah. It's always a conversation. 0844 499 1000. Oh man, alive! This feels like a proper show tonight. It feels busy, like a proper show. I don't want to count my chickens and all of that, which we've had. We had some eggs delivered the other day that hatched. They were meant to hatch, not just normal. They were normal eggs. That's what they do. We for the boys, we got in touch with this company, and they send you like about 10 eggs, and I think 9 of them hatched. And we had chicks in our house. It was delightful, and they taste delicious. 0844 499 1000. Vicky's on the line. Yes, Vicky.
Hello,
Vicky. What you got for us?
I wanted to talk about dog poo.
Oh yeah, go on.
Yeah, I have a dog as well, and you're right. When you go out for a walk, sometimes you run out of bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I proper style it out. If I'm on the road, the place my dog usually goes is there's a green at the end of my road.
Yeah.
And he'll normally do it there. He'll do it once on the way there and once on the way back.
He does 2 poos?
Yeah, well, he does 3 sometimes.
How old is he?
He's a year old.
Oh, well, they should have stopped doing that many poos by now.
Well, he's a Yorkshire Terrier, so he's little.
Oh, okay.
So he can't
not much space inside, is
there?
there?
Yeah, no,
unfortunately,
definitely not.
Yeah.
But, so anyway, but yesterday I took him out for a walk and I had my bags with me, and he did 3 poos between the shop, which is 2 minutes walk away,
outrageous,
and home again.
Yeah.
And I picked up one of his poos, and I thought it was supposed to be like baby poo, where it doesn't make you feel sick.
Yeah.
And I actually puked because I picked up his poo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is, can I just stop the clock?
Mm-hmm.
Time out. This is one of the most unpleasant phone calls I think I've ever experienced. I picked most of them up, right? I remember the good old days when I had a dog in the late 80s, and it could do a poo anywhere, and you just leave it there.
Yeah.
But I have, I think only once I've gone out without the bags and pretended. But another time, I've done it at least twice where I've had bags, I just didn't want to pick it up.
What's your method of?
I do a good show. I put on a good show. Jim Dale's got nothing on me. I'm in my pocket. Where's them bag? I've got the bag.
Exactly.
Oh, here's the bag. Yeah, got the bag. It's all right. I'm just bending down. Oh, there's a good girl. There we go. Absolutely nothing going on whatsoever.
That is exactly what I do. But if there's cars coming along, because busy road, if there's cars coming along, I will be looking for that bag and pretending to bend down for ages. And it gets quite irritating after a while. Because my dog puts on a real show before he goes to poo as well. Because he does, I don't know whether your dog does this, but goes round and round in circles, trying to find
Like a teddy bear? One step, two step, tickly under there?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, that's what he does.
My dog does none of that. She gets hunkers straight down.
Oh, no, mine doesn't do that. And can I just say one more thing?
Yep.
I don't know if you noticed, but on Periscope this evening, Alfie Days tuned in to your Periscope broadcast.
Right. Who's that?
Do you know who he is?
Who?
Pointless Blog. He's like one of these really super famous YouTubers.
Who?
Alfie Days. I have to watch this.
Alfie Knox! Alfie Knox!
I have to watch it because I've got, like, kids...
What does he do? What does he do? Well, hello, Alfie. Thank you very much.
Alfie Days.
Alfie Days. Am I saying that right?
Alfie Days.
Alfie Days.
Pointless Blog. You must have heard of that.
No, of course not.
Really?
I've heard of Pointless because I'm on it and I want it, but I'm not. I don't know Pointless Blog. No.
Well, he was tuning in to you, so he knows you.
Well, you know what? You know, Vicky, I used to be... thank you very much for that call. I used to be a somebody, and now I'm a nobody, and that is beautiful. 0844 499 1000. We'll take calls straight to air after midnight. And we've got the answer phone messages as well that we'll play in a little bit. Steve is on the line. Good evening, Steve.
Hi, Ian.
How you doing, fella? You all right? Let's have a cough.
Yeah,
Get it out. Get it out.
Sorry.
Get it out. It's all right.
Sorry?
No, go on, what are you going to say?
I've got a song for you.
Oh, beautiful.
Something to rival the other chap's jingle, I think.
Come on, man. You really think you can rival Nigel?
Well, I'll try and raise the bar a little bit.
All
but,
right, go on.
Here we go.
Here we go. What? It's very reminiscent of Syd Barrett, and I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. Yeah, okay, well, what do you reckon, Dennis?
Yeah, that's fine. What is it?
Oh, okay. You talk to him, Dennis. I've gone. You talk to him.
Who's gone? Who's gone?
Hello, Dennis.
Hello. How are you?
How are you doing?
We get by. Incidentally, I rang because last night he was asking for bits and pieces that you'd left of your body somewhere, and he was building up some form of a body. I forgot to tell him I had cataracts taken out.
You had your tonsils out in 1928, didn't you?
No, what happened, they took the cataracts out, but that destroyed my sense of direction. I walked out of the hospital the wrong way.
Oh, dear.
But this, with animals peeing all over the place, I had those damn things down my leg, so I could pee continuously into a bag. It wasn't a very nice process, but unfortunately, I had to wear them, but I've got rid of them now. I can pee straight now.
That's always a good thing, isn't it?
Well, yes, otherwise, it's a bit unfortunate. You go around with the doggy bag, peeing in the doggy bag. At my great age, I could do it anyway. That gentleman who was talking about history, don't forget, I lived through all that. I knew them Nazis. So what? So they carried torches. You can't blame the Olympics on them.
Guys, that's the line of the night from Dennis. I knew the Nazis. The important thing is Steve and Dennis, Punt and Dennis. Oh no, Steve Dennis and Hugh Punt. No, Steve Punt and Hugh Dennis, yes. Recreating the Now Show, the not very funny show. I don't mean that. Well, I know people who work on it, but the question of the night is, guys, and we've learnt, Catherine, while you've been away. Catherine's back in the studio.
Hello, Catherine.
Hiya.
A dog walker can get paid £15 a walk.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know what? I've got quite a lot of free time during the day now.
Yes.
My cogs are turning.
The thing is, though...
Have I got to pick up, though? Can I just pretend?
The thing is, your legs are not much bigger than a dog's legs, so they wouldn't really get much exercise. Tiny, tiny little legs. So it wouldn't be... if I was going to employ a dog walker, guys, I would get one with long legs. Wouldn't you, Steve?
Definitely.
Yeah, of course. Look, your money's worth.
Choice.
They might not be very long, Steve, but they're sturdy and they do the job.
Sturdy. They're very sturdy. They're like, you know the cow milking stools?
Whoa.
No, you know the milking stools you get for cows? They're like the legs on that. Sturdy. Short and sturdy and full of splinters. Now...
That's not true. She's a lovely, slim lady. You leave her alone.
I didn't say she wasn't.
Boom!
Didn't say she wasn't.
Dennis has got my back.
Yeah, Dennis is not going to make it to his next birthday.
He is. He's definitely.
Dennis is talking in the third person.
I've been to the quacks today, and he says I'm going to make it. So you get your 10 quid ready now.
Yeah, he's just saying that. He doesn't want to give you bad news to such an old man. But the question is, you're working for the Special Armed Services. You've got a secret cyanide pill hidden about your body. Where would you hide it that would A, be safe, B, would never be found? Everyone's got it on Twitter, so I can't... Where would you hide it, Steve?
Inside a fake tooth.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Boom.
Ladies and gentlemen, hang on a second. We have a sound effect for that. It's this. Here we go. The posse... He's right.
I thought belly button.
Of course not belly button. Well, you could do it if you were posing as a belly dancer.
Exactly. I would be.
But no, you have one of your wisdom teeth at the back. It's fake. It's hollowed out, and you can slide the bottom off, and then take the tablet out. Basically, you slide that out, the tablet falls in your mouth. I won't be answering your questions. Have that, and you're giving the fingers to everybody. Go, I've just swallowed a cyanide pill, and you're flicking your fingers at them, and then you're like dying, and you go, oh. You're never going to find out about the Peruvian Prime Minister.
That was a Nazi idea.
Sorry?
That was a Nazi idea.
It was very nasty.
Very nasty indeed. Dennis, Steve, thanks very much.
Cheers.
Ta-ta, bye-bye. There we go. 0844 499 1000. I've almost learnt the telephone number.
Well done. I don't know it.
Speaking of telephone number, shall I play the answer phone messages?
Yeah.
We've got some new ones. I will give you. So basically, some people listen to this on podcast. We'll give out the phone number in the podcast actually tomorrow. Mind me to do that because we've not done that.
What, for the answer phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
So some people listen on podcast and they can't phone the show, although we actually haven't mentioned it in the podcast, so they won't know about this.
And some people are shy.
Some people are shy, and some people want to do. I don't know what they want to do. So we've got a phone number that people can phone during the day, and no one will ever answer the phone. Almost very unlikely anyone will ever answer the phone. If they do, it would just be me because I'm at home bored. But I don't really have Skype open when I'm at home. And here are some of the answer phone messages.
Oh, hello, Ian. It's Steve Fallon. Look, I was just wondering, is there any jobs going on Talk Radio? Because, quite frankly, over here at LBC, things are not going well. So I'm going to be the first rat to leave that sinking ship. So I would like a job, please. Thank you. You know, I think you're the best. You know what? Always sad. Okay, bye. Call me. Bye. Facebook, inbox.
Hello, Ian. My name's Sophia. I hope you're having an awfully good time, and it's lovely to have you back on the radio.
Hello, Ian and Kath. Briggsy in Watford here. No relation to the old fart. I thought I'd try and bring a bit of culture to the programme. I've written you a little haiku in honour of your return. Here we go. Thank goodness Ian's back. I've missed his heavy breathing. Kath's not bad either. Nice one. Ta-da, I'll see you later.
You're my honey bunch, sugar plum, plummy yummy yumpkin. You're my sweetie pie. You're my cupcake, gumdrop, stubborn, you're the apple of my eye.
I was sorry. I said I'd have the phone number ready to give out by then, and I'm afraid I cannot do that as I don't have it. Could someone tweet me the phone number, please? It begins thus: 0208.
Right, there's quite a lot of numbers that begin thus.
They'll work it out. They'll work it out.
Yeah. It's like a test, isn't it, to get into MI6?
Exactly. If you here we go. Oh, okay. No, they've not.
Well, work it out.
While that was playing, Catherine and I were discussing what I'm going to wear tomorrow. I'm going to the Private Eye lunch. And I don't go to things, but me and Tony Blackburn have been invited because we've been in Private Eye the last couple of months each because of, stuff
Things
that's happened
that's
to us at the BBC. Miscarriages of justice on a very, very minor scale. And so we've been invited separately, but I know Tony a little bit, to the lunch tomorrow. And I'm kind of... I want to go, but it's you know me. It's very, very unlike me to go. You know that I
too many people you don't know.
Yeah, and it's a proper sit-down meal and stuff.
That's better than networking. That's better than having to mooch around a room and move.
Well, no, I'd rather move. Cause the thing I was hoping to do, and we'll go to the break.
Because you can mooch slowly out the door.
I was hoping I'd go in there for 20 minutes, or walk around the room, and then go, and then I'd be done. Anyway, we'll tell you what we'll do. We'll take call. We'll get that phone number for the answer phone during the news, and we'll take calls straight to air after we get a little bit of advert and news. 0844 499 1000. Don't call just yet, though. Hold off for about 4 minutes.
Talk Radio.
I've just seen who Alfie Days is. I don't know who he is. He seems like a very nice gentleman. He's got 3 million followers on Twitter. Could have retweeted the link to my show, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Maybe he didn't like it. I wouldn't know if I'd like this rubbish. This is Iain Lee on Talk Radio. Yes. Another hour or so to go, dear listener. We'll take calls straight to air after the news. Log this phone number and remember it. 0844 499 1000. Who knows what's going to happen next? So, the phone number if you want to leave a message during the day, anytime, do it now if you want to do it. I've got loads that are kind of stored up and I'll go in there and pick them out as I need them. But I don't really listen to them. I just pick them and don't listen to them. Because to record them, it's quite tricky. And I can't listen to them while I'm recording them, so I just record a load and then whack them in. 0208 133, and we can say 33 because it's my number. I'll say it how the hell I want. All right?
Right.
0208 133 6732.
Do you know what I heard there?
Well,
you sticking it to the man.
Here we go. 0208 133 6732. If you want to call the studio now and come on air, it's 0844 499 1000. 0844 499 1000. Calls cost 7 pence per minute plus your provider's access charge. It will cost more from a mobile phone. Right, yes, what?
What?
So, yeah, 15 quid a pop.
For what?
For the dog walkers. It really is. It can only be described as a rip-off. Can't it, line one?
Evening, boss.
Evening.
Evening. I've just come back from a concert.
Ooh, let's have a guess. Mariah Carey's been doing concerts.
Doesn't sound like a Mariah man.
Las Vegas, in London.
Yeah, she's been doing concerts in London. She's been over here doing concerts in London. Yeah. Here's the thing about Mariah Carey, right? I've got a friend who's a cameraman. He's brilliant, bloke called Jade, right? He's a bit dodgy, but he's a top bloke. And he has told me this, and I've heard it from other people as well, that when you go and interview Mariah Carey and film her, that you get given very specific instructions. You can only film one side of her face.
Yeah.
You can't film... I can't remember which side it is, but if you go and look online, all the pictures of Mariah Carey, they're all one side. If you see the other side, it's like saggy. It's like it's made of plastic and she's been a bit close to the fire.
I think there's an extra charge for that if you show that.
Yeah, exactly. You're not allowed to show her slightly saggy-sided face.
It's not saggy. It just isn't
It's
quite
wonky.
as good.
It's wonky.
Well, I mean, everyone's
Just not
got...
stitched up very well.
I like Mariah Carey. I thought her Butterfly album, her Music Box album, was a masterpiece. Thank you. I got that from cassette, on cassette from Slough Library and taped it, tape to tape, double deck.
I think it was on my mixtape in the 80s.
Go on, who did you go and see them?
So, it was in London, at Brixton Academy.
Beck?
No. Weezer.
Ooh, you look just like Buddy Holly.
Yeah.
And I'm Mary Tyler Moore. The guy from, what's his name? Rivers Sanchez or something. What's his name?
Rivers, can't remember.
Hang on a minute. So you've just been to see Weezer and you don't know the name of the guy from Weezer.
No, I can't remember. It's all a bit hazy.
It's Rivers Sanchez or something. He's just written a song for the new Monkees album.
Oh, has he now?
Yes, he has. And they had to change the lyrics because they're all like, the Monkees are in their 70s and it sounded a little bit pervy, so they've had to...
Very good live, though.
Weezer are an excellent band. Weezer are fascinating, right? Because they had the big hit with Buddy Holly, right? And the video, have you seen the video of it?
Probably, I can't remember it.
It's a spoof of Happy Days. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Is that the one when they're doing the Happy Days?
Yeah, exactly. Hence the phrase, it's a spoof of Happy Days, yeah. Right. So they went and they had a big hit with that, and the record company said, right, we want the second album, and, we're going to invest this much money. And Rivers Sanchez, whatever his name is, went, no, I'm not going to do a second album now. Sorry. Yeah, I want to go back to college and get my degree, just in case it all goes pear-shaped.
Wow.
So Weezer split up for like 4 years while he went off, went to college, got his degree, then came back.
Did not know that.
There you go. You
and all their albums are named after colours as well. So they've got the blue album, the red album. And their latest one is called the White Album.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You see. And here's an interesting. Okay, all right, let's play this game. Sorry,
good day.
That was us.
What was that?
Periscope.
Oh, don't do that. Here's a quiz. What is the Beatles' White Album called? Let's start with Catherine. Let's start with our caller. What's the Beatles' White Album called?
I'm going to call it the White Album.
Yeah, you'd be wrong. What do you think the White Album's called?
Beatles.
Yes, it's called the Beatles. The White Album is called the White Album is simply called the Beatles.
What do I win?
You win that.
Oh!
There we go. You see, that's it. Another thing I was thinking about, right? You know, I told you once in Soho Square. This is actually cosmic about what this. Suddenly, the stars have aligned. The lunch tomorrow is in Soho Square, and I'm about to tell you a story about magic that happened in Soho Square. And the point I want to get to is: has real magic ever happened to anybody? Because I was at Soho Square. It was 9:30 on a cold winter's evening. Hang on a minute, I can...
We've got the music for that.
I've got the music here somewhere. Here it is. Oh, no.
Please, I like to vote, please.
No.
I am broken Britain.
No, that's not it. Hang on.
Shut up and listen.
Hang on a second. Hang on.
What would be the one event that you would like to happen that hasn't happened? What's the one bit of proof that you would like...
That's not it.
A biddly biddly bong.
No, hang on a second.
How do you work that one out?
Oh, that guy. No, it's... Okay.
Yeah.
So it's about 9:30. It was a Thursday. It was a cold, wet, dark Thursday evening, November time. Let's say November the 12th. I was walking to work late at night through Soho. I had to go through Soho Square, which is where I'm going tomorrow for my private eye lunch. I heard a loud shouting voice, booming. I looked around. I looked left, I looked right, I looked up, I looked down. I could see nobody. I followed the sound of the voice. There was silence. I looked to where I had heard the sound of the voice coming from. I saw a rotund African traffic warden
right.
stood in a doorway on a mobile phone. He paused because he was obviously listening to what was going on the other end of the mobile phone. Once that noise on the other end had either stopped or had become unbearable to him, he started bellowing again the following words. Get out, demon! In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ! I command you, spirits, to leave that child!
Wow.
He was performing an exorcism down the phone while he was stood in a doorway in Soho Square, and it was a traffic warden performing an exorcism.
Now, so, if you get rid of nuisance traffickers
yes,
and people who are parked without leave in people.
Exactly. 0844. Yes, thank you very much indeed. Oh, well done. 0844 499 1000. What that means is either that gentleman had no grasp of mental illness and was bullying someone who was mentally ill, or he was actually performing real magic with a capital M ending with a K.
I know what I believe was happening.
Yeah, me too. It can only be real magic. It could only be real magic. And the thing is, right, that people, they do this. They go and pay money to have spells and incantations. I don't believe in talking to the dead. I don't believe in any of that nonsense. I'm not convinced, though, that spells and magic with a capital M and a K, I'm not convinced that that's not real. We don't know that that's not real, that you can't do a spell that would, make you horny.
I think I've seen that spell woven.
Line 2, you're on the wireless.
Hello, Ian. Roger Moore here.
Hello, Sir Roger.
How are you, Ian, old boy? I just thought I'd let you know I'm doing a new James Bond film.
This is really, really good to have you on board, Sir Roger. What? We will. There was a dump button there. We may have got away with it, but sometimes.
It was a very poor joke.
It was a very poor joke, and that's the one thing we cannot allow on this show is poor jokes. I am not convinced that spells are not, and I'll tell you why, right? It's manipulation, isn't it? It's manipulation.
It's suggestion.
What? No. It's manipulation.
And suggestion.
No, it's not. Because how could you do a spell on someone if they don't know about it and it work?
It's suggestion.
I'm going to suggest something to you in a minute if you don't stop doing that.
I was doing magic fingers and everything.
No, these are the magic fingers. How could they do a spell? Suppose I did a spell on Id, right? But he didn't know that I'd done it and it worked. Well, that's not suggestion. What it is, right?
I could do a spell on Ed that's going to work.
Well,
to go home after this.
You're not taking this seriously. It's really starting to annoy me.
Go on then.
We are billions of years old, right? You, in particular, are made from the same dust that was expelled during the Big Bang. That's a fact. The lyrics of Joni Mitchell, they may be hippie ideal, they're also true. We are stardust, we are golden, and we've got to find our way back to the garden. That last bit's the stardust.
Where is the garden?
It's at Woodstock, isn't it?
Oh.
Stop, you really... Right.
So carry on.
No, because you're starting to annoy me now. You're not starting to annoy me, you are continuing to annoy me, and the annoyance is elevating. In many ways, you're doing a spell.
I am.
A peeing off spell.
Yes.
But what it is, right, we are all made of the same material. I am made of the same stuff as this desk. You are made as the same stuff as, I don't know, a really boring, plastic, useless, old commode that a dog has had a dump in, right?
Wow, you really do like me, don't you?
That is what you are made of.
Wow.
Right. That's you on your best day. Right. So the thing is, I can manipulate myself. Well, I'm manipulating my fingers.
I know.
Okay. So why shouldn't I, with the correct tools at my disposal, why shouldn't I be able to manipulate you? And that's the defence I'm going to use in court if I ever get hauled up it before the beak.
For a sex crime.
No, you can't just indicate that I pressed the sex crime button. I'm in control.
Hang on, we just cast a spell.
It's quiet, you see. This is why I need a fader. This is why, Denny, I need a fader in here because I'm riding the fader. I'm riding the volume on my blooming.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Okay, we get the point. Thank you very much. Doesn't sound anything like that now. Anyway, tell you what, 0844 499 1000. I'll explain more after this. Last 45 minutes of the show. Iain Lee here every Monday to Friday, 10 till 1. There's also a podcast. If you go to iTunes or your usual podcast provider, it will probably be there. Catherine is producer of the show, although I've seen very, very little evidence of the nearly 2.5 weeks that we've been working here, so that's great. It is from New Zealand.
Yep, that's
okay.
great.
0844 499 1000. Just reminding people of the cast. 0844 499 1000. Calls cost 7p a minute, plus your provider's access charge. You call up, basically now, for the last hour of the show, and we'll take your call straight to air. So you don't phone up, you don't speak to Ed, you can, but you come straight through. I see your number flashing on the screen, touch the screen, and fingers crossed, they've rebooted the system. So, fingers crossed. Don't know what you're tapping for.
I'm tapping MDF.
Okay. And you'll be on the radio. And that's how it works. Particularly keen to hear from you if you've ever had an experience with real magic. What's that music? Is that you,
The
Ed?
bed really low.
No, it's not me.
It was you.
Oh, it may have been me.
It
may have been me.
It was you. It was you.
Right, it's gone now.
Well, I know, but that's almost irrelevant because it was you, wasn't it?
My bad.
Okay, now let's look. We got this. What's this? Hello, line one.
Oh Lord, won't you buy me a brand new car? My friends all drive nice ones. I need one right now. Work hard on my lifetime. No help from my friends. Oh, Lord, won't you buy me a lovely new car?
Thank you very much indeed. There we go. Now we're starting to warm up. Line 2, you're on the wireless.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Ian, how are you? This is Ian, I-A-I-N.
Well, I think you'll find that this is Ian, I-A-I-N.
No. I'm I-A-I-N.
I hate to correct you so early on in our relationship, but I'm I-A-I-N.
Well, it's like a mirror. This is like the old school where it's like a duplicate core. What did they used to call it in the old days? Cross lines.
Yes. In many ways, it's nothing like a cross line, in as much as it's a direct line, as you have dialed the number.
But that used to happen, didn't it?
It did used to happen. It did used to happen, and I used to love a good cross line. You don't get it anymore.
Oh, yeah. Did you used to just sit in and listen, or was that just me?
No, I used to sit in. Can I say I had what? Can I say this?
What did you have?
You can.
A mobile phone scanner, and I could listen to people's mobile phones.
Yeah, you can say that. You can say that.
Because I did. I was making it up in case it's illegal. But the stuff I heard, blimey. Anyway, yes, go on, Ian.
But why don't we get those anymore? Why don't?
Because it's all digital, not analog anymore. Because there are no actual phone lines.
Oh, this is bad.
You're telling me, buddy. You're telling me. There's no one actually putting the things in the holes that they used to get.
No, it's all magic now with a K.
Line 2, you're on the wireless.
Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Hello?
You're on the air.
Oh, I'm on there.
Hello, line 2, you're on the air.
All right, Ian.
All right, Manny, how's it going, buddy?
Oh, good, man. How you doing? How you doing, Kat?
I'm all right, Manny. How are you?
Didn't wait for my reply there. Manny.
Anyway, my daughter went to see...
and you don't want to pursue that line of... You asked me how I was, and then you went straight...
My friend?
This is that's the third time you've asked... Fourth time you've asked me in this phone conversation, I think, if we were to play it back. And I'm guessing, Manny, you're not actually interested in it, are you?
I'm listening to all your show.
Right, but that's very flattering. It would be even more flattering if you had a radar diary and you had someone who could, see to tick the right box. That would be great. But you've asked me 4 times how I am.
Okay, no problem. Anyway, my daughter...
And he's moved on. He's literally not interested in the slightest as to how I am.
But that's how are you is these days, isn't it? People don't actually care.
4 times.
Ask me a 5th time and then wait for an answer.
How are you, mate?
I'm not great, if I'm honest, Manny. I'm not great.
What's wrong?
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff going down, man.
Never mind.
Never mind.
Is he going to start talking about his daughter? Yeah, exactly. So then I'm about to get intimate with him. I'm about to get intimate and start telling him, baring my soul to someone that I consider to be a buddy.
Yeah.
And I've listened to his boring stories for the last 2 years at various places.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness. And, yeah, he's asked me how I am. I've started to expose myself. Not in that way. Not in that way. And, is actually not interested. Isn't
Bit
that
dismissive,
heartbreaking?
if anything.
Very dismissive.
Yeah.
Very, very dismissive.
You shouldn't talk to Kath like that, like you were talking to him before.
You shouldn't, you're right.
What? Where's this come from?
A place of goodwill and gentlemanliness.
He's being rude, isn't he?
He's dead rude, yeah.
Right, Manny, why don't you tell us about your daughter? I'm not interested.
She went to see that Dynamo on Saturday in Manchester.
Oh, that Dynamo's good, isn't he?
Yeah, she said he's absolutely brilliant, yeah.
I remember... No, he's no David Copperfield.
But he's good.
He's no David
Better than me and you.
Well, no, he's not. Well, I could do a magic trick. This is magic with a small C.
Go on.
Okay, look, I'm going to pull my thumb off.
No, what you're doing there is not magic with a small C. That's called dagic. That's dad magic. Dagic.
He's doing that little bit with his thumb, isn't he?
He's doing the thing with the thumb. If he had a tea towel and a spoon, he'd be doing that one.
Hang on a minute.
Oh, hang on, he's bringing something out now.
Hang on a minute.
He's got something in his bag prepped.
I've not got... Get a knife. Time to get a knife out.
No, I've not got it.
A knife? Oh, that kind of show.
No, he's all right. Dynamo's all right. Yeah, good luck to him. Good luck to the fella.
Anyway,
well, that's a great story, Manny. So your daughter went to see a show. Brilliant story, buddy.
Thought it was good.
Well, you were on about magic, wasn't you?
That's not what I'm talking about, man. I'm talking about real magic with a capital M and a K. Real magic, where something completely unexplained has happened.
Black magic.
Black magic, white magic. I don't see colour in magic.
I can't see anything.
Got you there.
Fair play, Manny. You win. 1-0 to Manny. Well, it's 2-0 to me because I can see. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. As you can see, from midnight we have very, very low standards. Now, here's the thing. You know we have the curse. Well, if we talk about people, they die.
Yeah.
So let's be very careful.
I mentioned Bonnie Corbett.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's
Look
a
what
curse.
happened.
Turns out the curse also works in reverse. The
What, people get born?
No. But we can make good things happen. And this is, again, why I'm thinking of the magic with a capital M and a K.
Okay.
We can make good things happen. What were we talking about the other day?
Oh, I don't know. Nonsense.
We were talking about animals, creatures that could grow bits of their body back.
Oh, yeah. Lizards and the such.
And why can't we? We can. We can. If we go to page 22 of the Mail.
Oh, excellent.
22 of the Mirror. Docs aim to regrow you. Human trials of stem cell treatments that mimic the way salamanders regrow limbs could start next year. A research team is testing induced multipotent stem cells in mice using human fat cells. It's getting,
Poor
a, little
mice.
bit it's getting a little bit scientific. No, I'm all for...
There's one running around with an ear on his back.
At least he can hear well. I'm all for vivisection these days.
Are you?
Yeah.
No.
These could be used to repair bone, cartilage and muscle in a similar way to salamanders, which can regrow a tail within weeks. Dr. Ralph Mobbs. I've got... this could be useful for me, because I've got... what's the thing on the end of your tongue?
Ulcer.
Yeah. Stressing it.
What, do you want to grow another tongue?
Dr. could be very handy. For licking...
Ice cream.
For licking out the bowls when you're making a cake. Licking out a nice bowl. Nice. People do that.
Yeah, my kids do, all the time.
Dr. Ralph Mobbs of the University of New South Wales says it has enormous potential for treating back pain, spinal injury, joint and muscle degeneration. And I reckon within 5 to 10 years, if you get your leg chopped off, it can grow back again.
Do you know you sounded like there?
Yeah.
Peter Andre.
Thank you very much indeed.
Say, I love my kids.
I love my kids.
There you go.
I love my kids.
Andre.
I don't love that woman, and I don't want her coming round here anymore, my laddie.
Oh,
I want to go on the slad.
No.
I've got over 65,000 hearts on Periscope.
What do you win?
No, I don't know. You don't win. anything. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. You can do. This is what the whole show was going to be about. I completely forgot to do it, and I apologise. According to the Daily Mirror, page 8 of the Daily Mirror is the page to go to, right? If there's nothing happening in the world, then page 8, they'll make up a story. Isn't that right, line 6?
Yes.
Yes. Who is this?
This is Dave.
Hello, Dave. What you got for us?
I was just wondering what the best kind of cheesecake is.
Oh.
The thing is, I've been to America many, many times. Sometimes to work there, sometimes working there illegally. And they have a place there called the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh.
And it's like 162 different flavours of cheesecake. But they're all rubbish. Because they do the New York cheesecake, which doesn't have a digestive base. They do the big fat ones. They do have a digestive base. No. They're not proper cheesecake. They're American cheesecake, and Americans can't do anything properly. They're not the proper British cheesecake. What options are there, Dave, open to you at the moment?
I mean, I don't have any options personally. I'm just planning for the future, really.
Yeah, well, it's a sensible.
I think that the New York is always a pleaser.
No, it's too big.
Not exciting enough.
He's right. He's right. I like a nice thin cheesecake with a really tough base. You've really got to get that fork and crunch it through. I tell you what. Marks and Spencer's do a nice marbled, darkened milk chocolate one. That is good. And they're tiny slices, but you couldn't eat more than 3. No. Because it's very rich chocolate.
Okay.
Dave, before you go, we've answered a question for you. Can you answer a question for me? What was the best year for music?
1986.
Mate, I'm afraid you're wrong. Page 8 of the Mirror. David Hepworth, music writer and broadcaster. Do we know this guy?
Now, what does he know?
Well, he's got a book out.
Okay.
And I like the look of him. I like the cut of his
Let
jib.
me see.
But everything he's listed in there is rubbish. Well, not rubbish. Hang on. Remember, it's meant to be a loving and good, positive show, no snarkiness. Everything he's listed is actually excellent.
Mm-hmm. Just not your choice.
Well, line 6, you're on the wireless. No, no, I knew. Line 7. So that phone system's working, is it, guys? There we go. Let me just try this. Line 2, you're on the wireless.
All right, Ian.
Hello, man.
I've got some late-night, hardcore aerospace engineering action for you.
Oh, baby. Yeah, go on.
So, in a big civil airliner, the wings, as well as keeping the plane in the sky, are gigantic fuel tanks.
Hang on a minute.
Yours.
No, don't.
Oh.
Well, did you hang up and then bottle it?
No, you wanted me to stay.
I want you to say. So hang on. Hang on a minute. So you're saying that some aeroplanes use their wings to store fuel?
All of them.
No, they do. No, they don't.
Yep.
No, they don't.
No, all of them.
We are
that you've ever been on.
We are, in inverted commas and in italics, a national radio station. You can't come on and spout those lies.
It's true. You can look it up.
Well, no, I'm talking to you. Okay, first of all, how do you know this?
It's my degree. I'm studying it.
You're doing a degree in wings.
Yeah.
Which is one of the albums, actually, from 1971. And they don't have fuel in there. Although, saying that, I don't know where the fuel is stored.
Yeah, where else would you put it?
Yeah, because his suitcase is in the belly.
There's people in the sausage.
Yeah. Toilets at the back.
The pilot's in the cockpit. There's a name.
And the toilets are in the back.
Yeah, next to the kitchen. That's got to be unhygienic. Particularly on a long haul flight.
So where are you going to put your petrol?
Fair play, buddy. You're right. You're going to get a first. That is excellent. Well done. Thank you for that.
Cheers,
mate. Thank you very much indeed. No, fair play. You can't. That makes sense.
Thank goodness for that guy.
I've never seen a plane's wing on fire.
Good.
I suppose so. It means we're doing something right. 0844 499 1000. 1971 was the best year for music, says David Hepworth, music writer and broadcaster. Now, some of the albums he's got here: The Doors, L.A. Woman. That's straight out. L.A. Woman Even if you like The Doors, LA Woman has got, I think, 5 songs on it. They're all about 5 minutes long. And it's all, I mean, for goodness sakes, Jim, put the drink down. It's not worth it. Hang on. I'm getting interrupted by callers. Line 6?
Hey, Ian, I got through this time.
Ah, it worked.
Marvellous. First time caller, long time listener.
Well, that's it. But it's literally a pleasure to hear those words. What have you got for us, buddy?
Well, I wouldn't be a very good dog walker, but one of my friends' wife's actually a dog walker.
Yeah.
But the only time I ever did it, my mum wanted me to look after the dogs for 2 weeks. They escaped once.
Oh.
I never took them for a walk.
Oh, mate.
And she said they were so clean when she got them back, but I used nail scissors to clear their ear end.
Oh!
No. This is a very, very common thing. If dogs are not groomed a lot, some dogs, it gets very, very claggy at the back.
Yeah.
And I remember we did this
but
with...
when you said clean their rear ends, I thought you meant... But what you mean is
Cut,
around...
cut.
Okay,
It wasn't a
that's
poke.
okay.
Yeah. When we had a Cocker Spaniel years ago, she was very, very ill, and my mum had to cut. She had to cut. It's not advisable, but sometimes you have to do it, don't you?
Well, yeah, I mean, I wasn't really up to doing the walking, but I did get paid for it too, unfortunately.
You got paid for the walking?
Yeah,
Even
while
though...
looking after the dogs.
Flipping heck, mate.
And all you did was look after the dog's bums.
Well, I had to go out one day, and they escaped through the cat flap, and the police brought them back, and my neighbours actually recognised them, otherwise they would have been gone.
Here's the thing, right? Walking the dog, I always think, I don't want to walk the dog. Once I'm doing it, I'm loving it. If we go over to the woods or the park or the big field, and she's off the lead, I love it, and I kind of get a bit creative, and I write emails, and I'm always sending you ideas for the show and guests and things. Jim Dale came to me on a dog walk, or I listen to my iPod, or I listen, so but it's the thought of actually getting the dog out, and I can't
I quite fancy having a dog, but you can't just have a dog for walking it, can you?
I regret getting a dog. There we go. I've said it. I regret getting a dog. And
Yeah, I'm a cat person myself.
I'm a cat person.
What's the matter with the dog? Too dependent?
I couldn't walk him.
Because you like a cat.
Are
Cat just comes and goes.
Are you just a lazy man?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no shame in that. There's no shame in that. And I'm going to start a support group for lazy men who just can't be bothered. They don't want to come.
Can I join it?
It's a social activity. I've gone on walks with the people, my mum who owns it, and they bump into people. You've got to talk to them.
This is it. Thank you. You have to talk to people.
This is
nonsense, and the dogs make the friends. You have to deal with it.
Yeah.
This is what I discovered, right? When I was just a single woman walking around, no one talked to me and I didn't mind, right? When I had kids and I had a baby in a pushchair, suddenly the dog people started talking to me and the other mum started talking to me. It's like there's an unseen bond.
I don't like dogs and I don't like people who own dogs, but now I've got, there are several people that I see on a regular basis walking their dogs, and we have to stop and have a chat, and I really cannot be bothered having those conversations with people.
How come the walking is down to you in the family?
Because I'm a sucker.
It was your idea.
No. It was everyone. Everyone wanted this flipping dog, and I really, honestly, it's one of my big regrets is getting a dog. Do you know what? I'm being a little bit harsh. I love her. She's a lot of fun, and I get on with her. But it's hard work, man. And I wish I hadn't. My life would be so much easier if we didn't have a dog.
Yeah.
And now I feel a little bit. I feel a little bit guilty for saying it. But
she's not listening.
No. Well, she might be. Line 2, you're on the wireless.
Hello, Ian. How you doing, mate?
I'm all right, fella. What you got?
I know you like your TV shows. What are you watching at the moment?
I'm not really watching TV. I don't watch proper TV. We got rid of the Sky. I watch Netflix. I've been watching a lot of films. I don't trust TV anymore. The last decent TV program I watched was on Amazon, The Man in the High Castle.
Oh, I've heard that. I haven't watched it.
It's good. Alternative timeline. So the Nazis dropped a nuclear bomb on America, and they own half of America. Japan owns the other half. But then there's these films going. It's set in the 60s. There's these films going around where Germany didn't win the war. That's as far as I've got. But it's good.
I'll tell you what's really good. Vinyls. Have you heard of vinyl?
I've heard of vinyl. Is it? I know the Monkeys got to mention it the other week.
Yeah, it's blinding, mate.
Is it? It's set in the record industry in the early 70s.
Mick Jagger's boys in it.
Yeah, that's right. Mick Jagger, and Martin Scorsese. Very, very good.
Here's the thing, right? I've been let down by so many TV programmes. Invasion, Lost, Fringe, All of these programmes...
Lost, mate. The end of Lost. What a...
it's rubbish.
You invested so much
6
time
years
in
of my
it,
flipping life, and the last 20 minutes I'm going, no, you utter... I was tempted to fly over to Los Angeles and punch Carlton Hughes in the face.
But it's American series, though. They always rinse it out, don't they?
And this is why I've given up on The Walking Dead, because the ending will be rubbish, and I just know...
I won't do no spoilers, but the last one yesterday, what a letdown, mate.
Yeah, of course it was, for The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
of course it was. They always will be. They always will be.
No, they won't. The Returned is good, and that's French. Have you seen that?
No, because the first 2 series will be good, and then the 3rd series will be pony,
I think
or the
there's only
4th
2.
series will be pony.
I watched about the first 2 episodes of Return. I just couldn't get into it.
No, you've got to give it a little bit more, because they sort of start to make sense, and everyone sort of flits in and out of each other's lives, and then they just drop enough in, so you think, oh, hang on a minute, I think I've worked this one out, and then you haven't at all. So that was good.
What about House of Cards? You seen that?
No, I haven't seen that. Did you watch that?
Nah, I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. I cannot be bothered with it.
I'll tell you another one that was good,
Yep.
and that finished at the end, which is always a bonus. It was a one-off, Top of the Lake, had Elizabeth Moss in it from Mad Men. Holly Hunter was in it.
Mad Men, there's another one. I sat through, because I was watching Mad Men.
Nah, rubbish.
I was watching it, and I got halfway through series 2, and I thought, do you know what? I've watched about 30 episodes of this. Nothing's happened. Once you get over the fact that all the women look nice in their old clothes, and they're all smoking and drinking, there's no story.
Yeah, but it all starts to unravel, doesn't it, in Mad Men?
Yeah, but nothing. It doesn't end.
Yeah,
Sopranos doesn't end properly. None of them end. Oh, you've got me proper angry now.
Good to have you back, my friend.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. It's very kind. 0844 499 1000. Line 7, you're on the wireless.
Hello, is that me?
Yes, it is.
Hello, Ian, as you were.
Is it as?
It is as you were, mate.
As you were. As, what have you got for us?
As you were.
As you
I wanted
were.
to ask you a little question for a little bit of a quick geek out, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go on, mate.
All right. If you could have a special episode of Doctor Who, like a multi-doctor episode, but you could choose 4 doctors.
Oh, mate, this is a brilliant question.
Who would it be?
This is a flipping brilliant question. Right, I need a pen and paper for this.
Exactly.
Right, Tom Baker's in it, of course. Of course.
Right.
Baker's in it. The first Baker. This is a flipping brilliant question. Indulge me a moment, please.
Because it's not necessarily about who your 4 favourite doctors are.
No.
Which ones you think would work better together?
Tom Baker.
Which ones would
Here we
play
go.
off each other?
Here we go. McGann.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, exactly. I thought he was a blinding Dr. McGann.
I thought he was great. Have you listened to the audio stuff?
No, I've heard it's excellent.
He's brilliant.
So McGann's in.
Absolutely fantastic.
I'm going to go Troughton.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I like Troughton. I think he's the great underrated doctor of our time.
Very good. Him with the recorder he had.
Yeah. And do you know what? It's between... I can't remember either of their names. It's between the Invisible Man in Heroes or the Scottish Gentleman.
Do you mean
the new
Eccleston?
one?
Yeah, it's either Eccleston or the Scottish Gentleman. Not Capaldi.
Which Scottish one? There's been 3 who are Scottish, I think. But
Yeah.
only one of them has actually sounded Scottish.
The Tennant. I'm gonna go Eccleston. Do you know what? I'm playing a hand, strong hand with Baker as the king.
Nice,
but the rest are all the underrated doctors. Yeah, I've got Baker, McGann, Troughton, Eccleston. Oh, this is a good game. Right, who would you go for, Az?
Right, so I actually wouldn't go for Tom Baker, because I think he worked very well just on his own.
Okay, yeah, I like that. It's good,
So,
good reasoning. This
I'm
is a
going
great
for,
game.
To start with, I always thought Patrick Troughton and John Pertwee, because I love them together in the 5 Doctors and the 3 Doctors.
Yeah, they were
I
good.
like how they argue with each other, they throw insults at each other. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I really like Colin Baker from the audiobooks.
Wowzers. Okay.
So he's not that great on TV, but on the audiobooks, he's fantastic.
That's interesting. No, he was poor on screen. A very poor doctor on screen. Catherine's got no interest in what we're talking about at all. Hey, hang on, Az.
Doesn't matter. She got me dumped on air. I don't care.
Hang on a minute, Az. Line 2.
Oh, it's just me, was it now, Az?
Hang on, guys. Hang on. Line 2, you're there as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Do you want to play along with us?
I don't know anything about Doctor Who.
Come and sit with me.
Thank God you're there.
Need some education.
What are they rambling on about?
This is genuinely the most excited I've been. This is better than Jim Dale. Take Jim Dale out of the podcast. Put this in it. This is what we want. So you're going Pertwee, Troughton, Colin Baker. Who's your 4th one then, Az?
I think Peter Capaldi.
You going for Capaldi?
I'm really liking the Peter Capaldi stuff recently.
I saw John Pertwee walking up Baker Street once.
You saw John Pertwee going up Baker? What?
Walking up Baker Street.
Oh, I thought for a second.
Which Baker was he?
Was it Colin Baker Street or Tom Baker Street? As it's an excellent game. If anyone else wants to play that, 0844 499 1000. We'll have a break in a second. Let's quickly just take this call. Who is this line to?
It's Jan. How you doing?
Hello, Jan. I'm over the moon. Thank you very much. I've perked up after Az's call.
Good. As long as it made you happy, Ian, then that's all that matters, my love.
There we go. What you got for us, Jan?
I wanted to say about a good year for music.
Oh, yeah.
Early 90s.
Well, hang on a minute. That's an era.
Yeah, okay, 91.
I sounded like Id saying error there, didn't I? That's an era.
91.
Why? What the hell came out? It's supposed to be a loving,
There
embracing
were
show.
some really
Good year.
good tunes out there.
Wasn't The Shaman 91?
You had, like, Salt and Pepper.
Salt and Pepper.
You had... no, I'm telling you.
No, Salt and Pepper were good. Spinderella.
There was... Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had some... You had Colour Me Bad. Do you know what they sang?
I remember that song.
Yeah.
I want to sex you up.
That's right.
Chesney Hawkes, the one and only.
Oh, well, that's not really my type of music.
Right, said Fred, I'm too sexy.
They had...
The
yeah,
Simpsons,
Michael
do the
Jackson.
Bartman. It's not a brilliant year. Oceanic, Insanity.
Yeah, but they had some really good tunes out there. They had Bryan Adams, Everything I Do.
Beverly Craven, Promise Me. Yeah, I'll give you that. The
Yeah, we're
Scorpions,
looking
Winds
at
of
the same
Change.
list, aren't we?
Yeah, we've got the same list, isn't it?
Seal with Crazy.
Yeah, and wasn't he just? 0844 499 1000. I have no recollection of this. 1991, so I was 18 years old. I was drunk. I was drunk.
I remember this year, grinding was a big thing.
Well, you were a teenager, of course.
But, I mean, it was suddenly in the dances.
Hey, it's generic boy band, but they've all got drawn-on moustaches.
Yeah.
Generic boy band. Line 1, you're on the wireless. Hello? Go on, say something. Go on, you do it.
Hello.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hello, you're on the air.
Yes, hello.
Go on, say
Yes,
something.
hi, I'm on your Periscope at the moment.
All right. Well, you're also on the radio as well.
Yes, I know, I'm watching you.
That's weird. Now, it's turned a little bit to Play Misty for me. Ever seen that film? Yeah. Turn the audio off on the Periscope.
Yes, I'm on the screen now.
Yeah, well, yeah. Turn the audio off from the Periscope.
Yes, I have.
Right. What would you like to say?
I just want to say hello.
Hello. 0844 499. It works. It actually works, guys. You phone up the thing and you come on the radio.
This is us.
0844 499 1000. We've got about 9 minutes left of the show. We've got through another one. Starting to take shape. We're facing in the right direction. We've not taken the steps towards that direction, but finally we've turned. I imagine the show as being a gun turret on a very heavy, slow-moving tank. And over the first 12 shows, this being number 12, we've slowly moved the gun turret, so we are now facing the direction we want to head in. Okay?
Yeah.
So we're now facing it. Yesterday we were closed. Today we're kind of facing the direction, and then in the next few days we're going to start moving forward. But it's a tank, and it moves slowly. And our destination is many, many miles away. We may never reach it.
Will it take us about 3 years?
Yeah, take it to the end of my contract, which is 2 years.
Well, I hope you have fun.
Oh, well.
After a year when I'm
Because
not here.
you've only got a year contract, sucker.
Yeah.
Sucker. So, Doors, LA Woman. No. Marvin Gaye, what's going on? I like Marvin Gaye. I like Marvin Gaye. I do think what's going on is
it's a good question.
It's quite a dull album, and I know it's about it's about racial
Civil
harmony.
rights, yeah.
It's a powerful message, but powerful messages don't have to be dull, Marvin.
do you prefer Let's Get It On? Because I've read the cover notes for that, and it's all about, listen, if I'm doing this and you're in the way, it's not my fault.
My favourite Marvin Gaye album, which I've never listened to, is called Here, My Dear. And it was when he divorced his wife, and the judge
What's the offering?
The judge said, right, and this is when he was like, I think he'd just done What's Going On, so he was like the biggest star in the world. And the judge said, right, for the divorce settlement, you've got to give her all of the money from your next album. He went, no. He went, yeah. So he released the biggest load of old rubbish called Here, My Dear, and it is, I've heard bits of it actually, and it is turgid, it is awful, and it hardly sold at all. He went, I kind of... Sad story, Marvin Gaye, isn't it? Hey, I'm surprised there's... Hollywood, if you're watching, a Marvin Gaye biopic. It's got everything. It's got the rags to riches. It's got the drug excess, the women, and what a tragic ending. Shot by his dad with a gun that he bought for his dad. How many other... I
bet they've already made one, a really awful one for the Hallmark Channel.
How many other... I feel whichever actor played that would almost definitely be up for Oscar nomination.
You know who it'd be?
Will Smith.
No.
Go on.
Your favourite.
Oh, Idris Elba. And the thing is, there was a furore that not enough black people were represented at the Oscars this year. I'm just saying, that is a shoe-in. That is a shoe-in.
Why haven't they done it? Are there still members of the family alive that won't allow it?
How many celebrities have been killed by a weapon that they purchased themselves without it being a suicide? Oh, that is a good one. Little bit macabre, but that is a good one.
Should we save it for...
We could do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
How many celebrities have been killed by a weapon of their own purchasement that wasn't suicide? Marvin Gaye with the gun that he bought for his dad.
Yeah.
That is actually... That is,
I think, it.
That is it. Let's go to line one. Line one, you're on the wireless.
Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Come on, baby.
Someone who's never heard the song Let's Get It On phoning in there.
Does a decent Elvis, though.
Line two, you're on the wireless.
Can I pick my favourite for Doctor Who, please?
Yes, you can. Go on then, madam.
Oh, can I have Sylvester McCoy?
Yes, you can. I don't know why I'm writing this down.
Can I have John Pertwee?
Pertwee, McCoy and Pertwee, yep.
And have Wolf from Gladiators.
Wolf from Gladiators, yes.
And have that Belinda Messenger. Oh.
Okay, so your four favourite Doctor Who's just gets right. Sylvester McCoy, John Pertwee, Wolf from the Gladiators, and Belinda Messenger. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed. There we go. It's
gosh.
That was that was exciting, wasn't it? That was very close to being line 6. You're on the wireless.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right. What you got for us?
Well, I just wanted to say, I've got in first time I've been listening to tonight. I'm a fan from the Big Brother days, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it from the start. I've watched on Periscope as well, and it's been brilliant.
Oh, thank you very much indeed.
That's all I wanted to say, mate.
Oh, no, you're very kind. I was waiting for the punchline, but there isn't one. That's very kind. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. I forgot I used to do a Big Brother show. Thank you, everyone on the Periscope, by the way. I forgot I used to do a Big Brother show.
Yeah.
Then they bumped me off it for being too old. Thank you for that, buddy. Lines. What is interesting is I feel that we're getting a lot of people that are phoning up just to see if it works, just to see if it really does go to air. Mm-hmm. It does. It really is literally me just touching the screen and the call's going straight through. Line 6, you're on the wireless. Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, mate. Right, Here My Dear is the best Marvin Gaye album.
You're having a laugh. It's terrible.
No, mate. You just said you haven't listened to it. You've heard bits of it, mate.
I've heard bits of it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you listen to the full thing, mate. There's some great songs on that album, mate.
Name me a good song on the Here My Dear Marvin Gaye album.
Funky Space Reincarnation.
Sorry, what was it called?
Funky Space Reincarnation.
Hang on, I've got my record player here. Hang on a second, let me just play it. Hang on, here we go.
I guess I'll have to say this album is dedicated to you.
It's dedicated to his ex-wife.
Although perhaps I may not be happy. This is what you want.
Wow.
So I've conceded. a lot of truth in it, baby.
I hate your guts. Hang on, let's get a
You're playing the intro of a song.
Hang on, here we go. Here's a Funky Space Reincarnation.
1073.
Yeah, mate, it's hardly heard it through the grapevine, is it?
Well, it's a completely different song. It's a different album.
Yeah, and it's not as good as Heard It Through the Grapevine, which is a masterpiece. This sounds like a B-side by Jamiroquai.
1084.
He's just saying years.
How?
He's just saying years from the future. How is that a song? It's like Zager and Evans mashed up with Jamiroquai.
Mate, listen to the album and talk about it tomorrow.
Do you know what? I won't get time to listen to it tomorrow, but I'll listen to it over the weekend.
Yeah, say something about it next week and see what happens.
Okay.
You know,
even if I like it, I'm going to say I don't like it, though.
Yeah, that's
because I'm childish like that.
All right, fine.
Thank you, mate. Good night.
That's it.
There's the voice of a man who's disappointed in you.
It's funny. It's the voice I hear a lot from men and from women. Okay. Then Ram, the Paul McCartney album. Oh, so Ram Music Club are coming on.
Yeah.
Is it the 12th they're coming on?
Something like
That's
that.
next, which I think is probably next is next Tuesday. I think maybe. Ram album Music Club. They're on Twitter, and they're brilliant. They've asked me to do one, and what they do is they get celebrities to listen to a famous album they've never listened to before. And I've told you what the album is. You mustn't mention it. I've been told I'm not allowed to mention what.
I can't remember.
Okay. They get to listen to a famous album they've never listened to before 3 times, and then they have to write about what they thought about it, why they'd never listened to it. And I'm really excited because they've given me a list of albums. I've chosen one. On the list were people like there was a Roxy Music album. There were a couple of new singers that I'd never heard of. One guy with a beard, and
that narrows it down.
And there was a Jethro. I nearly went for Jethro Tull, but I've chosen anyway. Martin from them is coming on next week.
Good.
And it's a good thing. We're all flagging a little bit, dear listener. We've done our best. We got through it. Go and download the podcast if you go to iTunes or your usual podcast provider. Type in Iain Lee and talk, and look, lo, behold, up it will pop. Don't forget you can leave a message on the answer phone. Follow me at Iain Lee, and I'll give details of that. We'll be back tomorrow. Yes, good night.
Talk Radio. Dial up some dialogue.
Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.